McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Well, good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Thursday, October 15th, 2020, and the show begins right. Thank you, Twine, for that beat drop. Now, big Thursday, October 15th in the NFL world. Big Thursday, October 15th in the college football world. There's a lot of things to talk about, including a baby alien got unmasked last night on The Masked Singer, and that person underneath said mask was the Sanchez, Mark Sanchez. Ooh. He'll be joining us in 22 minutes to talk about his experience of being a above-average singer in a costume that looked hilarious and getting voted off of a singing contest and competition, and currently being a top 10 trend on all of the internet. The last time he was a top 10 trend on all of the internet was when he said something incredibly important on a Saturday college football day on ABC and ESPN, because that's what he does now.
Yes.
You scumbag.
Whoa.
You were thinking about something else at Boston Connor.
Not the butt fumble.
Joining us to...
Wow.
Come on.
I said not. I said not the butt fumble.
To it, though.
Anyways, let's move forward. Mark Sanchez, good friend of ours. Can't wait to chat with him. We actually woke him up this morning while he was in bed, asking him if he would join the show today. Very thankful he's doing that. Also joining us in the second hour, about 1:05 Eastern Daylight Time, the host of College Game Day, Reese Davis, will stop by. We'll talk to Reese about everything happening down there in Alabama. Nick Saban confirmed positive case of COVID-19. He is an older man, so obviously his health and safety is something we have to think about. And in the meantime, there's a massive Alabama-Georgia game happening this weekend. And this is not the time, I'd assume, Nick Saban or the Alabama football team would want this to happen, but I'm sure they're just worried about his safety, his health, and hopefully getting a win over Georgia. We'll talk to Reese Davis about that and anywhere else where the conversation goes. The guy has been hosting College Game Day for a long time, I think like 8-9 years maybe at this point. He also does game day for basketball. He has seen and done a lot of things. I can't wait to chat with him, and I have really never had that long of a conversation with him. Even though I've been on College Game Day, at the same time he's obviously on College Game Day, we've never really sat down and talked, because last year whenever we're doing game day on location, I would arrive late night Friday night, like midnight, 1 a.m., because we had Thursday night football in another city the night before that. I'd fly back to Indianapolis, do our show in the morning, then I'd try to take a nap in the afternoon, then I'd fly to College Game Day at night, and I would have to be at the set 6 a.m. the next morning. So we'd land like 1 a.m., and I wouldn't get in there until 6:15. Their production meetings were already over, and the crowd is already as big as possible. So Reese would go to his spot, I'd go to my spot. The only time Reese Davis and I had ever really had a conversation is passing each other on Beale Street around, I think there was 12,000 drunk people on Beale Street in Memphis. Yeah. And it was like a quick, like, how you doing? Oh, not keep it moving, but like, nice to meet you. Thank you for all the kind things. And he's always been very nice to me, but we've never had a real conversation. I'm excited to see where that goes, because I respect his hosting abilities. So there's going to be a lot of conversation. And in the third hour, Darren Waller, tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders, who came onto the scene in a massive fashion. His story is a great one that'll inspire a lot of people, and his football ability is also a great one that'll hopefully inspire a lot of people. Can't wait to chat with him. As always, your phone call is 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. Can't wait to chat with you. There's a lot to talk about. Let's get to it. At Tone Diggs, how you doing? Keep it moving. What was your big thought when you woke up this morning when it came to the NFL?
Well, to the NFL, it's definitely where Le'Veon Bell is going to go, because it's not every day. Quick
question. Is it Le'Veon or is it Le'Veon?
I always say, what did I say?
You said Le'Veon, but also the person we talked to yesterday, I forget who it was, they also said Le'Veon.
So I don't know how the apostrophe works after an LE. Sometimes it's silent, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, because where's the E? Is it in the English language, or is that French E potentially?
I thought it was a French E. That's why I said Le'Veon.
Yeah, and by the way, you would be right there. Target.
But then I also call him Lev Bell. instead of Lev Bell.
And
That's
what
where it gets.
I call him Lev Bell as well. But the person that talked to us about him yesterday said Le'Veon, and they felt like they were in a position to know that name a lot better than me. So if Le'Veon or Le'Veon is watching or listening, know that it's not our fault. We've heard it both ways. We would like to get it cleared up, but we'd also like to get cleared up. Where the hell is he going? Yeah. It is getting interesting. The conversation right now is that there's 3 teams in the hunt. And this is coming from Jeremy Fowler, who covered Le'Veon Bell whenever he was at the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's assume maybe they had a good relationship and he has an inside scoop on this. Right now, the conversation is around the Chiefs, because the rich get richer and they could use him in the backfield, I guess. The Bills, because they are like 26th or 28th in rushing in the NFL. And if Josh Allen had Le'Veon Bell, that would be awesome. And the Dolphins are very much in the hunt. That has come out that the Dolphins are really trying to make a play here. Now, it is very intriguing because the Jets' next 3 opponents are the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Chiefs. So if this is a spite sign out of Le'Veon Bell, we respect it even more. Don't think he'll be able to play this weekend for any team that he signs for because of the COVID-19 protocol, 2-day this, that thing. But he did just come from a place where he was in the protocol. So if he passes 2, is he automatically back? And if he takes that now, will he be able to be good? Let's assume he misses this week wherever he signs. But if you look at those 3 teams, and the Kansas City Chiefs, if they pull this off, it'll be even more amazing that they have this money. Now, granted, the Jets have to pay for everything that the signing team doesn't pay up to $6 million. So we assume everybody's going to pay him $850,000 or $875,000, whatever it is, which is the veteran minimum deal, and then just have the Jets pick up the tab on the other side, 5.125 million, and have Le'Veon Bell and the team say, fuck you to the Jets.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is exactly what they would do. But if you look at the Dolphins and the Bills, and I think at Boston Connor might have brought this up earlier, or somebody else, or Gumpy did, who's a diehard fan of the Dolphins, isn't it interesting that the AFC East now, he was on the Jets, they're obviously getting rid of him, but the other 2 teams, yes, he would obviously be good for their team, and in Miami, who knows how that'll be off the field, because that is where his rap career was taking off the year he held out. Yeah. But are the Bills and the Chiefs like, well, we can't have Belichick get this guy, and he would help our team. Let's go ahead and make a play. And I think to Gumpy, as a Dolphins fan, it doesn't matter if it's B-Flow trying to make sure Belichick doesn't get him, or if it's the Dolphins saying, fuck you to Gase again. You don't care how you get Le'Veon Bell on your team. You're pumped for him, right?
1 game out of a playoff spot, baby. We get Bell. We're right in the mix.
Do you think Miami could potentially be problematic for Le'Veon Bell off the field? Because we saw his holdout year. We're talking yachts, jet skis, rap album release parties at 2 a.m. Yeah. He had a good time. It was actually, it was entertaining to follow along. You know, he comes back into football, says he still has more to prove. He's focused on football. But do you think the distractions of South Beach might be too much for a guy who already got to experience it for an entire year, Gumpy?
But if he also wants to get paid next year, get another big deal, he has to show up this year, right?
Oh, so what is the motivation? Is it the yachts and the thoughts, or is it the big cash? That is the question that we're going to have to ask, and I'm intrigued to see how it all works out. I got a DM from somebody last night that told me that Le'Veon Bell was spotted in a Buffalo airport last night.
Wow.
Whoa.
I have a friend that works at the Anchor Bar in the Buffalo airport, which I have eaten at, by the way. I have eaten at that said exact restaurant. Not a lot of options in the Buffalo airport to eat, by the way. The Anchor Bar is basically the only place you can go and will go. So although the source was not anybody I knew or anywhere near legitimate, I just wanted to put out a feeler. Does Bills Mafia need Le'Veon Bell? And there's a lot of Buffalo Bills fans that were like, absolutely, that would help our rush. And then there was a lot of Buffalo Bills fans that were like, don't need him in the culture. Is Le'Veon Bell in the same conversation? And I'm not saying that person was right or wrong, and that's why I'm not in the insider news world, because there's reports that he was also in Kansas City in the airport too. So you never know. You can't. That's why I'm not an insider, because I do potentially get scoops, but said scoops could come from said stooge that is just making things up. That could be, you know, kind of doing the old bait for me. So I just kind of stay out of that game. We let the professionals do it, unless they want to sell Manscaped stuff, and then get them out of the tour.
Yeah.
Kick them out of the tour.
Promo code rap sheet.
Yeah, have to do it. At least get him a little bit more money on the backside of that thing. So when I asked if Buffalo needed him, a lot of Buffalo Bills fans, Bills Mafia, said, no, we don't need him in our culture. We don't need that. Is Le'Veon Bell at that point? Because if you listen to Pittsburgh Steelers fans, when he and AB left Pittsburgh, they were the toxic twins, is what Mark Madden called them. In Pittsburgh was like, get him the hell out, right? Just get him. Le'Veon Bell held out. They're like, we hate him. Keep it moving. Then what happened with Antonio Brown off the field, everywhere else? Pittsburgh Steelers fans were like, we were right about that. But the way everything has happened off the field for Lev Bell and on the field and the way he's spoken about Pittsburgh, it feels like Steelers fans are like, hey, we'll take him right back in Pittsburgh if he wants to. He kind of separated himself from that bad image. Is it because he liked 2 tweets that said Adam Gase was a stooge, which is what everybody's thinking, that they're saying he's bad for the culture? In my eyes, I think of Le'Veon Bell. I'm not thinking like, is this guy going to come through Miley Cyrus wrecking ball into our locker room? I don't think that. Like, I think, oh, is this guy going to try? Is this guy going to be the guy he was from 3 years ago or not? That's my only thoughts. The amount of tweets that I got from people saying he'll ruin our culture, I was like, holy shit. Like, that's what people think of Lay or Le'Veon Bell. That was interesting to me.
I think he definitely has that reputation kind of. When he was in Pittsburgh, we were definitely upset when he sat out, but it was because of money. It was never anything in the locker room, anything like that. When he left or whatever, when he got his money, it seemed like teammates on the Pittsburgh Steelers were happy for him. Completely different one from what Antonio Brown, what was coming out of the locker room about Antonio Brown.
And Le'Veon Bell got in trouble for smoking a blunt with Blunt, right? Isn't that something that happened?
Yeah, but that was...
But to be honest, now that we're learning more and more, hopefully those people that maybe judge him for that, and we're learning more and more about potentially the people who are doing the same exact recreational activities, just not as dumb doing it in a car, which, by the way, not safe. Don't do it. Very stupid. Very, very, very stupid. Very stupid.
Brutal.
Just so dumb.
I mean, can't be doing it.
And somebody in our office potentially has the same exact rap sheet as Le'Veon Bell,
right,
that we did not know about.
Yeah.
Somebody potentially has the same exact thing, and it is so dumb to do that. And I would assume that could be your takeaway, is like, hey, very stupid to be in that situation, obviously. But it's not like he was trying to bury that team by doing that.
He was also very young with a veteran in that situation. So.
And by the way, that team was successful, those two. So I think maybe we should bring that into perspective. So I don't know the people that are like, this guy stinks. It's like, I don't know.
I think it was more so his agent than him.
Yeah, whenever he was like, this is what we want, we expect this, he kind of looked like but that's business, right? So when NFL teams do business in a fashion that's scumbaggish, people are like, oh, Foxy, this is what they say.
That's business, baby.
That's literally what they say. But whenever Le'Veon Bell's agent was doing the exact same thing, now granted, it did not always sound like, oh, that's how a human should speak about himself. Like, but that's them doing business that way. But I think since him getting his deal done and moving forward, I think that has almost been forgotten about, but not by a lot of people, apparently. I was wrong, and I misread that. What's up, at Nick Morado?
Yeah, like things iterated earlier, there weren't like major things. There were just little things with Lev, like him missing the walkthrough before the Jaguars game of a playoff game.
Can't do that, buddy.
He seemed to always end up hurt in the big games, in the playoff game against the Patriots too. That you can't blame him for that, but fans obviously are not the most rational.
No, you can blame him for missing a walkthrough the day before a playoff game. I did not know that happened. So now that news is kind of showing up in my life here, maybe it is like a question like, this guy isn't that committed.
He also, with the Jets, I believe he missed practice on Thursday and Friday and then went bowling on Saturday and missed the game on Sunday. That was that whole thing last year. But that was with the Jets, so I don't know if you hold that. 251.
Oh, wow.
Pretty good.
So how's he keep bowling 251 if he doesn't fucking practice? What, just because he can't take a shot to the skull on a Sunday, he's not allowed to roll some balls to keep his 251 average up?
Get the guy in the PBA. Jesus.
Somebody tweeted me, by the way, that they shot a 300 last night. I didn't know that's how you score bowling.
Well, that person lied to you.
Yeah, I don't think
believe
it
that
is
how you. I think you roll a 300.
No, I think we're also not in the professional bowling world, are we?
I'm going to guess that guy didn't roll a 300 then. Because
a few times I did watch the documentary on Pete Weber. So.
Oh, the guy that
who you think you are?
Yeah, that guy.
I thought
Turns out he loved cocaine, didn't he?
No way.
No.
Is that?
He's a bad boy at bowling. He probably was doing plenty of other stuff, too.
Him and Billy Salesman were doing it every single day.
You know, I don't love when people automatically assume because I talk fast and I normally have energy that I'm just out here rolling in the Colombian Bam Bam. I'd like to let you know, not my thing.
Nope.
Not my thing at all. I've known a lot of people, but it's not my thing at all. I've tried it a couple times, and every time I've done it, I'm like, this is not my thing. This is terrible. And I have a pretty good way of knowing if something's my thing or not. And that was not. So all the people that are maybe new to the show thinking, they're like, oh, this guy talks so fast. He must be on some drugs. It might be on some. Not the case at all. This is just how it is. This is just the way it operates. That is the one thing that I don't like. Everybody's just like, oh, he's cokehead. I'm like, whoa, holy
Slow down.
Very aggressive.
That is very aggressive. I actually don't understand it. Tried Adderall a couple times. Almost wanted to jump over a fence, obviously, but I didn't like what it did. I thought it was out of control. I was like, hey, get me out of here. I can't do it.
Take it to the next level, though.
Yeah,
huh?
I have to go the other way, by the way, with the old vitamins. I have to slow things down in the brain up there. Because it gets going, and it is not great. By the way, we just thought, as we were recording the podcast, we re-record a couple parts of the podcast before the show to keep the podcast separate from the live show with the interviews of the live show. There's like a fine balance here, and we have a daily podcast, obviously, the Pat McAfee Show 2.0. So if you miss any part of the show, you can download that. And today's episode, you learn quickly about how my brain literally operates in real time. Yeah. We just created maybe goal number 2 in my life at this moment right now, to become a Grammy-nominated whistler.
What? Oh.
Yeah, that's what because I think I'm a pretty good whistler, and I'm not going to give it away for free right now.
No, nor should you.
It is on the podcast, though, and I do believe, and I said this on the podcast, so maybe that's not good just to say everything I said on the podcast because we just said there's other stuff. But hey, that's business, baby. There's a chance we get to interview Luke Combs here, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I guess Luke Combs, potential fan of show. Okay.
Love that.
I got a message from somebody that says, hey, Luke, fan of the show. He's going to be doing interviews in a little bit, so I assume he's releasing an album or something like that.
Yep.
Would you want to have him on the show if it was available? I'm like, yes. Okay. Long neck, ice cold beer that broke my heart. He's right about that, by the way.
Yeah.
It is.
I ain't
Is he
never heard
remixing that song?
He ain't never lie whenever you talk about that stuff. But he's coming on the show. I'm going to have to put his foot to the fire about me potentially being a backup whistler in a song. Yeah. And it needs to be a song that potentially wins a Grammy because I would like to be a Grammy-nominated or a Grammy-winning whistler.
Right.
Can we ask him about the Crocs he sent us?
Yep, we absolutely can. And where the song was because we were told that the song was in the Crocs, and we still have yet to get that. He won a Billboard Music Award last night for Country Artist of the Year or something like that.
Go, Lukey.
Yeah,
Big honor.
bald head.
Really?
He had like a buzzed head, good beard still. Gave a great performance, just him at a piano. You know what I mean?
Love a piano.
Anyways, I'm gonna force him to make me whistle on the back of a song. That's what I decided. I've never talked to him before. You know, I like his music. I will always like his music. Hopefully he'll like the show forever.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't put me in the back of a song, I'll probably never have him on the show.
Yeah.
Make the whistle song. Now.
Hey, that's business, baby.
Make the song.
Make the song.
Damn it.
By the way, Luke Combs gonna win a Grammy probably relatively soon.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would assume that there is a chance that said whistle song could make or win a Grammy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
especially
we can see how that could.
God.
Does everyone get a Grammy? Like
What's that?
does everyone get one? That's a part of the song? Or just the main person?
That is my impression.
It feels like there's a lot of Grammys floating around there because every time they did a Cribs episode,
Yeah, there's like 80 of them.
there's 80 Grammys in the background. It's like I did not know you were associated. Is that you're on the thong song? It's like Well, I was a part of a producer. I do think they kind of hand those things out like hotcakes if you're a part of the production. So hopefully my whistle makes a large enough appearance in said song that we have a Grammy radio.
Yeah. And if not, break off a damn piece and give it to you.
Yeah, he's going to get enough Grammys.
Exactly. Just snap one in half and just hand you half.
He's
of it.
incredibly talented. I think he wrote a song like on spot during the quarantine. That was like a banger of a song.
Okay.
Yeah, is he selfish or not?
Handing out Grammys
How
at
many
this point.
Grammys are you going to get?
Jesus.
I don't know if that's kosher or not, but that's why the show stinks. 20 minutes into the show here on this Thursday, October 15th. Zito, what is the poll for today that people can chime in on if they want their voices to be heard? Hey, go vote.
Go vote now. Hey, go vote. According to Jay Fowler, ESPN, only 3 teams in play for Lev Bell. Where will he go? Dolphins, Chiefs, Bills. Right now, the Bills are leading 38.3%.
So maybe the DM we got of him being at the Anchor Bar is right. Maybe.
Whoa.
Is that on the song?
I think so.
Wow.
We're gonna get
Galaga over there?
We're gonna get struck
Swine
for
and
that.
Uncle
He's hitting
Sam.
the fucking jackpot.
All right, we got to get to a break. Mark Sanchez, Baby Alien, will join us to talk about his Masked Singer experience and loss last night, and also the NFL, what's going on with the Jets and everything else. This is the Pat McAfee Show. We'll see you on the other side.
You can blow an ounce. We trying to lift the mood, make sure it ain't lower. That's why when we celebrate, we hardly ever sober. Wouldn't trade it for the world. That's just how.
Week 5 is officially in the past, so let's get some nukes to get us ready for Week 6. Now we know weeks 1 through 3, the over was 29 and 19. Weeks 4 and 5, the over only hit 13 out of 29 games. There is still one over trend that is going strong, though. First half overs in week 5 were 10 and 4. And on the year, they're now 50, 25, and 2. Let's go to prime time. Primetime favorites were 0 and 4 against the spread in week 5. And on the year, they're 5 and 12. We'll be back tomorrow with a new hammer. Dad! More stats, more info, and a full week 6 preview. Cheers.
Mr. Aaron Rodgers. How was the bye week? You weren't allowed to leave. You weren't allowed to do anything. What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I had the COVID test every morning, just like all of our guys. And
Make sure you vote. Listen, if you don't vote, not having Aaron Rodgers Tuesday ever again, okay? Make sure you vote.
first Tuesday in November, right? So we're just going to skip this show.
No. Did you watch anything like maybe Ted Lasso during the bye week to help that entire thing out?
I didn't watch Ted Lasso.
Jesus. Come on. Unbelievable. Don't vote, Aaron. Hey, don't vote.
You know, we had a tent in nature, just camping on my own property.
You camped out on your own property during the bye week?
Yeah, I'm kidding about that.
Oh, my.
Did you really wear number 40 at West Virginia?
Yeah, it was my GPA and my favorite drink.
Oh, you are wearing shorts.
Yeah, come on, bro.
No?
Pat doesn't believe me that they don't give Toradol shots there.
They don't give Toradol shots. But Age would drink this green legume drink that I'm sure was legal, but it made his body he had the worst gas you could
How do you maintain that high level for so long? Is it like super competitive? Like you have to be an ultra competitive human being to be a quarterback?
Well, I think it starts with being hyper competitive. You know, I think that's a trait with all the long time great players is you just have I love to compete. I think the most important thing is you have to be self-motivated. And again, that may seem like a standard statement, but it's not. I mean, not every player is self-motivated.
Hey, how's Jordan Love doing? We don't hear much about him.
You know, this is a good time for him to learn, to see what it looks like, to see what the week's preparation look like, and just kind of soak it all up.
And does that change where you throw the ball to people if they're more of a body catcher or hands catcher or anything like that?
You know, anybody that catches the ball with their hands, it just changes the whole catch rate. It changes the whole confidence you have in throwing them. But anybody that naturally catches the ball with their hands probably gets a few more looks. I would say this: there's places that I would like to go in the future, and one of them is Egypt.
Ooh. When were the pyramids and the Sphinx? When were they constructed? Also, like, what kind of technology did they use?
It was aliens. Say it.
Yeah, it was definitely aliens.
Bingo. Yeah, there it is, by the way.
Doing it for the brand. It's the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
It wasn't bad.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah, that one wasn't bad.
Not bad.
Smooth.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Channel 82. We're allegedly going to be joined by the Sanchez, the baby alien Mark Sanchez, any moment. I guess he has not answered said phone calls. He probably had a long night last night. He's a rock star for a night. You know what I mean?
Might be singing in the shower.
Rock star for a night. He fumbled his phone, you said? Oh my God.
Oh.
Well, that's the problem.
Wait, fumbled.
It's your fault,
Fumbled
and
the
it's your
phone?
fault. This show is disgusting.
I fumbled the ball.
Without Mark Sanchez, you know
wonder
what?
why he's not answering. Like,
That's exactly why.
are you bigger than Mark Sanchez?
No, I love
You
Mark
think-
Sanchez.
hold on,
I
just
thought
wanna-
we were alluding to earlier.
Just as we think about what's happened here currently, the people that are listening and people that are watching.
Yes. Yeah.
What percentage do you think says, you know what? Keep Sanchez the fuck out. We want to hear Boston Connor's thoughts on Mark Sanchez for 3 hours.
Oh, zero.
That's the question.
No, I think there is a percentage. There is a percentage.
I
think
don't know
you're wrong
about
with
that.
that. I think you're wrong with that. But there was no reason for you to bury the Sanchez like that immediately at the beginning of the show, because if he was watching, he probably said, I got 0 hours of sleep. I'm going to go back to bed.
Yeah.
Wow, this is your fault.
I love the Sanchez, and I let off with that. It's just I thought you were alluding to
Just
the
quick
one
question.
play.
What was it? Hey, can somebody ask Billy Tubes back there, what is Sanchez trending on the internet right now? 4 maybe? Maybe 3? Yeah. This would have been a big get.
Yeah, what-
I'm pumped for him. He's coming on.
You canceled him.
No, I didn't cancel him.
Talking
He's
about
not answering
toxic
phones because of
twins.
you.
We know who canceled.
Don't rope me into this. I love the Sanchez.
Who canceled him?
Not me.
Oh.
Hey, was I on the field?
All right, instead.
Oh, come on.
Instead of Sanchez, we'll go to PJ in Missouri. Is this PJ Fleck? What's going on?
This is PJ, not Flex. PJ in Missouri, though.
Close. By the way, vitamins hit me there. Minnesota is what we're looking for.
Close.
I got excited. I saw
PJ
PJ, MI. I even said Missouri. That happens. So, PJ, what do you want to talk about, bub?
Hey, yes. Can we just talk about how the SEC has the worst fucking refs in the world? They screwed Arkansas over this weekend. That was definitely a fumble in the Arkansas game against Auburn where we should have gotten the ball back.
I concur with that statement. You're in Missouri. You're an Arkansas fan. Woo pig suey, pal.
Hey, Woo Pig Suey, baby. Hey, man, we beat Mississippi State. That air raid offense is nothing now. They lost to Kentucky, and they got a safety out of it.
It's funny you say that. Coach Leach said that he's got to get his guys in there, basically. There isn't believers in the Mississippi State. There's some non-believers in the Mississippi State locker room. He said you got to get them out of there. If you do recall, hot start, LSU, Death Valley, a lot of ghosts in the stadium, he said, because Death Valley, very clever by Mike Leach. He's going to take a couple years to get his guys in there, he said. And that's always a move that coaches make if they stumble early. It's like, well, obviously you got to get our guys in here. Matt Patricia did it in the NFL. It normally happens everywhere that a new coach goes where there isn't immediate success like expected. You got to get your guys in there. How long does it take? Who knows? But let's assume that Mike Leach offense that has been successful literally everywhere and used by everybody at this point, that it will at some point be successful in the SEC, but will it be successful enough to beat Bama, Georgia, or maybe what even Lane Kiffin's cooking in Ole Miss? I mean, it's going to be tough. And that's why the SEC is the SEC. And I didn't know that the refs are this bad in the SEC. I just assumed all college football referees are bad. So maybe that is the case and you only watch SEC and you don't know that. No, they stink everywhere. I mean, let's not get crazy because it's a tough job. It's a tough job. Hey, not an easy job. And they're in college because, they work up through the system as well as referees. Other than Hockey League's kid, you get dropped in the NFL for good reason because we need better refs in the NFL. But I think refs overall aren't great. I think there's a lot of good ones. But if you have one good one on a crew, like that doesn't make up for the 2 potential shitty ones that can make a big call that can ruin everything.
Correct.
So I think it's hard to get an entire crew that's good with officiating, and I think we should give them a break. We should give them a break because it's not easy to do that. Nobody wants to do that, and they have no fans. But we should help them out with technology as much as possible, as fast as possible, using the XFL review system with the Xbox right in the ear to the ref. Hey, you fucked that up. Let's move it this way. Why don't we do that in all of football? I don't know. Dwayne Johnson should flex that he got Vince McMahon's review system and potentially ask if the NFL would like to license it and sell it to him. And even the XFL maybe sponsors the review. This review is brought to you by XFL that has given you this idea to use the Xbox and direct conversation to the ref. That would be a good idea. You're welcome, Dwayne Johnson. I know nobody's going to work harder than you. We just worked for a little bit for you, and we think it's a good idea.
Well done.
Well done to us.
I don't know if it's true or not, but people are saying that Sanchez is on ESPN right now.
This son of a...
But as a random comment. That is a random comment.
I didn't say it. I'm talking about the person that said it.
Yeah.
Not Sanchez.
Well, I mean,
Let's go to Dalton in Evansville.
she's an ESPN, it sounds like.
He works.
Hey, what's up?
He works.
I mean, this guy.
I mean,
You
he does
son of a-
work for you.
Oh.
How far did you got to let it go, Sanchez?
Yeah, but ESPN literally pays his salary.
Yeah, I know.
He's one of their faces on the weekend.
Yeah, he's not worried about that. He's about to get a record deal.
True. He did sing very well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be intrigued to see how our conversation starts when I talk to him, too, with
That's
all of
Jimmy's
this stuff that
cousin.
has happened. Dalton, what's going on in Evansville, pal?
Hey, not a whole lot, man. Just raining down here. But I just wanted to call and get your prediction for the Steelers' final record this year. Is it safe to say to hammer the over? Right now it's at 11.
11's a lot of wins. 11's a lot of wins. You have no idea what's going to happen, potential injuries and things like that. But this team feels like they're on to a hot start. Long run, though, after the early bye week. That's going to have to be a long run, which makes you question the injuries and the availability of some players, especially if a couple high-name marquee players go down, and especially in the AFC North, which is no easy task at this point. I don't want to say that you should hammer the under on that because I think the Steelers are a very good team, but you're talking about a lot of luck that has to come into play for somebody to win 11 games, especially in that AFC North right now in this COVID year where we have no idea what's going to happen. Atlanta just had a personnel staff get it. They had to shut down their whole building because somebody who potentially doesn't even do anything had got COVID. I mean, so who knows? 11's a lot of games, though. That is a lot you have to get lucky for.
Call us in 3 weeks. They play the Browns, Titans, and Ravens in the next 3 weeks, so we'll know more.
Yeah, there we go. And by the way, I bet you the odds will probably remain the same, maybe even go up if you wait 3 weeks.
Steelers, Browns this weekend. Odell got sent home early today because he was sick at practice. There's speculations on what it could be.
Will you relax? The NFL for a long, and I know Kevin Stefanski even said, like, due to the COVID protocols, we sent him home or whatever. The NFL has been sending home people that feel sick for a long time.
I'm not saying COVID.
What are you saying?
Well, it actually came from Bubba Gumpino, but he was thinking it was probably pink eye.
Oh, no.
All right,
Poop.
The speculation.
Let's go to
It's poop again.
This show stinks. Let's go to Chuck in Chicago. Chuck, what's going on?
Big Chuck.
What a joke.
Give the guy a break.
Hey, we got to talk about the lack of respect shown to the Bears and the Office guys.
How about this show?
Especially from Ty.
Yeah, I'm a Packers fan.
Dude.
What do you think the Bears' chances are of winning the NFC North?
Oh, Chuck.
Great question, Chuck. Thank you so much, man.
Chuck.
I didn't even hear what he said because we put up the fucking tweet. We didn't need to do that. Put
Oh,
that down.
come on.
What we should put up, though, is the sidebar, please. Hey, did he say the Bears or Packers to win the
He
NFC
said,
North?
I need to show more respect to the Bears, and are they going to win the North?
I think it's going to be tough to win the North, just strictly because Aaron Rodgers, unless something happened in his camping trip on his property during the bye week that he told us about on Tuesday, I don't know what's slowing down. They get Devontae Adams back. The defense is playing good. The offensive line is playing good. Aaron Rodgers is playing better than ever, and he's the guy anyway. So I think it's going to be difficult. But what about the surging Minnesota Vikings?
Oh. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not going to be an easy win for anybody in that NFC North. No. Now, I don't think they'll be in contention for a playoff spot at this point because they've lost too many too early here. But I think they will be a heartbreaker for people down the line because they're going to have important games in the NFC North. Look for the Minnesota Vikings to potentially dethrone somebody from winning the NFC North championship later in the season.
Whoa.
Dalvin Cook did sit out of practice today after his injury. He's still out of practice, so he's probably not going to play this weekend is what they're saying.
What was it? I don't know. Was it a muscle or a joint? I forget what it was. It was not turkey. I don't think, Zito. Let's go to Scott in Atlanta. What's going on, Scott?
Hey, what's up, Pat?
Just hanging out. What's up with you, man?
Not much. I wanted to know, out of the older quarterbacks that are struggling this season, i.e. Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, et al., who do you think may lose their job, whether it's to a backup trade or free agency?
Tyler, I'll tell you, or Scott, I'll tell you what. The use of et al, very, very impressive.
Well done.
Thank you, sir.
No, you should feel good about that. The older quarterbacks, I'm not 100% sure. This is one of those things where Phillip Rivers got the same amount of money as Tom Brady and Drew Brees just got for 2 years. Tom Brady feels like TB12 is helping him stay at a level where he's going to continue to help the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right. But there's a chance Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, and Matt Ryan are the detriment to their current offense. Now, the Saints have won games. They've won a lot of games. And Emmanuel Sanders had a great thing. But long term here, will Drew be able to win them very important games to get them to ultimately where they want to go and where they've been heartbroken in the past from losing? I'm not 100% sure if he will. Dominique Foxworth on Get Up this morning, he proposed something very interesting. The next 3 games for the Saints, relatively easy games. Do you let Jameis Winston come in? Play these 3 games. Potential give Drew Brees a chance to, middle of the season, let's go ahead and revamp this thing like what happened when Teddy Bridgewater had to play for 5 games because Drew Brees had a hurt thumb and Drew Brees' arm down the stretch looked better than it had ever looked because he got that 5-game break. That's an interesting conversation, but the fact that it's even happening is because everybody sees what's currently happening with Drew Brees. He was missing passes. Now, granted, he came back and won that game, but Drew Brees is the most accurate passer of all time. Like, that's an actual record. So he's being judged against Drew Brees, which isn't always fair, but he is missing throws that he wouldn't normally miss. He's not throwing throws that maybe in the past he would have thrown. And I know the stats say for the past 5 years, his average yard per pass has been low, but it just feels like this year it's lower than it's ever been. It's different than it's ever been. And I know they've tried to open it up after all that conversation, but whenever they open it up, all we're seeing is him missing balls like that. So maybe he just still has to find a rhythm. Maybe he still has to find a groove. But with Michael Thomas potentially having beef with whatever and whoever down there, and Drew Brees showing how he's showing, it's just, will the Saints be able to make a run? And is Drew Brees done after this year? I think a lot of people are thinking yes. And when it comes to Phillip Rivers, I mean, aside from Frank Reich, who said Phillip Rivers is our starting quarterback, everybody here in Indy is they're about done with Phil.
Get him out.
And Dan Orlovsky has given some damning stats to Phillip Rivers about how his last 16 games or 20 games have been very, very bad. Maybe he still is able to find it, right? And maybe he doesn't turn the ball over. And maybe there's just 2 bad games. He's coming into a new place, but whatever the case. And then Matt Ryan, there's some things he's doing where you're like, I don't know if that guy still got the fastball. I'm not 100% sure. And with a young game being instituted in the NFL with mobile quarterbacks, it could be only a matter of time before we see, that whole thing come to pass. And we will have a moment of silence for the drop back, stand there, statue quarterbacks that dominated the NFL for far too long.
And the amount of burn they're giving Taysom Hill for the Saints, I mean, they might as well give him a shot under center. But if you're paying the backup $15 million, doesn't Jacoby Brissett at least deserve a chance at some point to prove that, hey, if I'm not going to start for the Colts, I can at least start for a different team next year?
And Jacoby, by the way, is loving what everybody is saying about it. I mean, he has to be, because last year he did not get any credit, right, for anything. I was literally saying he should win MVP, and I was getting laughed at as if I was like the onion of sports out there. And I'm like, no. What he's doing, he took over the team, 12 days beforehand. Boom. He's winning games, not turning the ball over, making plays, and then he got hurt, and then everything changed. Yeah. So now the conversation is like, is Jacoby the guy he was the first 8 weeks, or is he the guy he was after he got hurt? And nobody talked good about him until we saw what potential Phillip Rivers is doing. So Jacoby Brissett has probably loved this entire full circle type thing. But if he goes in and he doesn't do good, what do the Colts do? You know what I mean? Like, what do the Colts do then? Is it the play calling, or is it what is it? So there's so many questions up in the air. And I've seen people say that they don't want Frank Reich coaching here anymore.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Indianapolis Colts fans, because they had Peyton. Now, before Peyton, obviously, team was not great. But whenever they got Peyton, win. All we do is win. 10 games, playoff. Then whenever Andrew Luck came in. But remember, when we went 2-16 that one year, there was people that were showing up with bags over their heads, right? Like, you just went, winningest decade in NFL history just happened. Yeah. Then the guy has a broken freaking neck. Bags are coming on there. It's like, whoa. Do we deserve that at this moment? And maybe it was outsiders coming in just trying to make Colts fans look better, whatever. But the Colts fans expect success. Like, that is what they do. And if you're not having it and they know how much you're getting paid, I do believe Colts fans are right up there with the we're fucking done with that. Let's go ahead and move on here. And that is very true, I think.
It's so funny because the Colts fans are saying that about Reich, and then you take a 12-hour drive to east to Philly, and they're like, we haven't been the same since Reich has left.
That's football, baby. That is football.
Situations.
Let's go to Caleb in Michigan. What's going on, Caleb?
It's going good. How are you doing?
Oh, just hanging out, man. Great to hear from you, really. How's the family? Family good?
Family's great.
Oh,
just getting over the case of the COVID.
Oh, man. Well, we're happy you survived, obviously. That's good news. Happy everything's okay. What was it like?
I was asymptomatic, so I was completely fine. It kind of broke out at my work, and I'm the youngest one at my work. So everyone was talking about how it was difficult. And I was fine. Most of my family was fine. We only really had one person who was sick, and it wasn't even that bad.
Oh, so you almost killed your workplace. So that's a little rough of you up there in Michigan, by the way. Would have never guessed.
Yeah.
Would have never guessed. Michigan, nice. Would have never guessed. But happy to hear everybody's okay. Only one person had it. What do you want to talk about, Caleb?
Hey, so I was wondering, have you ever talked to Baker Mayfield yourself?
I have never talked to Baker. Have I?
One time he yelled something
at Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. We still have not said what he said.
Oh, yeah. He yelled.
Yeah.
Where was it?
It was when we did Radio Row last year for that one day.
Yeah. Oh, and he walked by.
And he sat by himself.
On the other side.
Talk to him over there.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, so no, I've never talked to him.
Good guy, though.
I feel like it was a pretty good. I feel like it was a pretty good little interaction we had, though.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember it, but I do remember him sitting in that thing. He's very nice to us. That team, they have not won in 16 attempts at Pittsburgh, which is where they're heading this weekend, and they got to feel this is their best opportunity yet. But that Steelers team, I just have too much faith.
It is, and the Browns fans will talk like it's been a rivalry, but they have you. You said it.
Okay, all right. All right, joining us now is a man who had other obligations, obviously, from his employer and workplace.
Right.
A man who got unmasked last night on The Masked Singer. He was a baby alien. He's handsome. He's former NFL quarterback, the Sanchez. Mark Sanchez. How's it going, Mark?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Well, you know, this conversation was supposed to be 16 minutes ago. There was a lot of people that were saying should not even answer the call to him.
Look at it. I don't even have my thing hooked up properly. Sorry.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go. How we doing?
Hey, thanks.
Hello?
Hey,
Dad?
Yeah, yep. Son, here we go. So the great hair, great eyes, great look, great night last night. Had no idea. Was that the first episode? Did you get voted off on the first episode, or have you been on there for a couple times here now?
Thanks for caring. Thanks for watching,
Bro,
Dad.
football, dude. Football. Yeah.
Football every night.
Come on, Mark.
Football every day.
Yeah.
Save it.
Yeah.
No, that was my second appearance on the show.
Hey.
Thank you. I made it through the first round to the second round. I still think I should have got a little farther. I had another good song ready to roll, and I had a good SmackDown song just in case it came down to that. But just trying to broaden my reach and get uncomfortable, learn some new skills, just like you did with WWE. This was my version of that.
I lost in WWE as well. You lost in a Masked Singer, so it's same.
Just a couple of losers.
Samesies there, basically. How was that process? So I watched the first couple seasons, and I'm a fan of the show. Believe it or not, I didn't even know your show was happening. To be honest,
you can't tell anybody.
Bingo. So you can't market that you're on it. If you would have told me you're on it, I probably would have watched. But you can't. What is the whole thing? You're in I've heard it's. Like no windows, you get driven in and back, you get like a mask put on you. Nobody has a clue who you are except for who? The drivers, I guess. How does the entire process work?
I mean, even the drivers, they give you a hoodie and this mask that's completely tinted, and they cut out these holes, like they tape everything on the inside of the mask, so you could literally only see like this much of someone's face. You can't tell anybody who anything is. You have to sign paperwork, like a thing this thick of paperwork, and you kind of get shuffled in and out. You're never around the other contestants, and you're not really supposed to hear them perform. But I said this on Jenny McCarthy's show, and like a reaction kind of show, and I remember walking out, so you go through this whole process. I felt good with the puppet. I felt good more or less singing. I knew I had, a ceiling on my singing talent, but I wanted to make it as best as I could.
Yep.
And I thought I did that. I thought the choreography was solid. I thought the backup dancers were incredible. Like everything was on point, right? Well, I'm walking out after my second performance feeling good. And you're not really supposed to hear the other contestants perform as the show's happening. And so they were a little late getting me out, and they hurried on Seahorse a little early. So we kind of passed each other in the hall, and I was like, oh, that's a cool costume. Like, good luck. And then we still don't know who the other person is. And she goes on stage, and I hear it, and I swear to God, it's Celine Dion. So I just stop everybody that's like ushering me out of the building, of the studio building, and I go, wait a second. And my contact was Keith. And I'm like, Keith, what's the deal, bro? How did you put me in a group with Celine Dion? This is crazy. I was so pissed.
Was it actually Celine Dion?
I felt good.
Do we know if it's Celine Dion yet? We have not.
I don't think it's actually Celine Dion, but she sang the Titanic song, and it might as well have been Celine Dion. So I'm like, dude, if there's singers like that, like, all right.
Yeah, you're just there strictly.
That's about all I got.
You're there strictly for the entertainment. I'd assume that they potentially thought you stunk too. You were a good singer. You had good pipes. What? And I said not.
What did you say, Pat?
I think you had good pipes out there. I think you sang.
Yeah, but before that, you do these little digs and then try and hide it with like a loud compliment.
No. I'm assuming when they signed you up to be on the show, they were pumped about it. Like, thank you. And then they immediately thought, this guy will suck. This will be like a William Hung situation here. And then we'll be able to have the Celine Dions of the world do good. It's like good entertainment. But you were very good. I was very impressed.
Appreciate it.
Now, when I heard it after knowing that you were eliminated and it was you, I did hear your voice in there. And I was like, this guy got a voice of an angel. Were you a singer, or is it just something you did in the shower? Or what was it?
Shower concerts daily.
Respect.
Sheesh. I love karaoke. Those were some of my favorite times. In New York, actually, in Cipriani downtown, there is like this fire escape ladder, and super late night back in like 2010, 2011, my best couple years with the Jets, Sundays after games, we'd go to Cipriani, we'd go eat if we had a day game at home. Well, at about 9, 10 o'clock, they shut the restaurant down, and you can walk upstairs, and they have this whole karaoke setup, and it's essentially a club. They have a DJ who's like elevated up in this corner.
Smart.
And next to the DJ, they have two professional singers, a male and female. And you put in your karaoke request from your table, and you can sing from your table. And people are obviously getting pretty liquored up.
Oh, yeah.
So if they suck at singing, somebody just like a technician turns down their mic and turns up the professional singers who are hired to be there all night.
Smart.
Right?
That's a good idea. That's good karaoke, by the way.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant because everybody sounds good. You don't get the drunk person yelling, and it was awesome, right? So I'm being a competitive jerk that I am like, all right, I could do this. Let's do this. So I would constantly, choose. Sorry, it was my dad, for real dad. It was my real dad. You're not my real dad. I don't have to listen to you.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I would request "It's Time" by Imagine Dragons all the time. That was one of my favorite songs. And then after, every night, I was notorious for going up to the singers like, hey, so like, did you guys have to mute me out, or was that mostly me, or like a little bit of you, or how was the ratio?
What did they mute you? Did you get
no,
muted?
So they were like, yeah, you're actually pretty decent, and I was like, yes.
Oh, so you felt good going into the Masked Singer. You felt pretty good about it.
I felt okay. Like I knew my limitations. I knew I wasn't going to sing "My Heart Will Go On" from the Titanic.
That's tough. That's a lot of pressure on the
you know, I knew I could make a little noise.
The Imagine Dragons "It's Time" song, is it sound anything like Thunder? Feel the thunder.
Similar. It's like
lightning in the thunder, thunder, thunder. That song's called Thunder.
Has to be.
Thanks.
No problem. Congratulations, man. That's awesome to see. It was fun to watch, and I'm happy that the world is responding in a very positive fashion to your beautiful, angelic singing voice. And also, you have to be a big-time celebrity to be on that show. So congrats on being big-time celebrity, Mark Sanchez.
Thanks, man.
No problem, because if you take the thing off, I've thought about this before. You take the thing off, and everybody's like,
who's that?
Hell is that guy?
What is going on there? That has to be a tough scene. Didn't happen for you. Congratulations, you're Mark Sanchez. Let's talk about your previous profession when you played the football, the NFL right now. Lev Bell leaves your franchise, the Jets, in rocky waters. Now it's alleged to be Chiefs, Bills, or Dolphins, Le'Veon Bell. Those are the three next opponents for the Jets. How do you think this plays out? And what do you see from the Jets in the future going forward without old Lev? Are they with Adam Gase forever, Sanchez?
Well, I don't know if they're with Adam Gase forever. I think it's more of, Joe Douglas basically drawing a line in the sand, not between Adam Gase and Le'Veon Bell, but more about like, hey, this isn't how we're going to respond to, coaching. And this isn't how we're going to get our message out there as players. We're not going to respond to like Twitter stuff. I'm assuming that probably wasn't a good idea. And, they didn't appreciate that. Gase had a response to it. So it just becomes this soap opera that plays out in the media. And, as a player, teams hate stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in a big media market like the New York Football Jets there. Bam.
Oh, yeah. Good use.
Missed it.
Yeah.
By that much.
Hey, that's a game ball over there, which is probably for the Jets.
No, so, yeah, one of them. No, but I think it was really unfortunate because they invested so much in him, and now they're just cutting dead weight, essentially. And for whatever reason, mostly injuries, it just didn't work out. And then to be a good running back, you have to have a good offensive line. They're still going through their struggles with the Jets right now. It's a whole new group trying to get acclimated to one another, and that's not easy. So, both sides were at fault at this. The Jets expected something. Le'Veon expected something. It was a complete miss. And now he gets to go somewhere else for another team. Listen, this is a total prove-it deal for him, and to see if he can get re-signed again. But, if I'm any of those teams, the Chiefs, Dolphins, or Bills, why not? Why not take a flyer on him, see if he can hang for a couple weeks? If he's not a problem in the locker room, then keep him around, let him play, see what you can get out of him for $800,000, and move on.
Mr. Songbird Sanchez, yesterday Dane Orlovsky said that Darnold probably isn't going to be the future of the Jets because of Trevor Lawrence. Do you see that as well, or do you see him being the long-term option in New York?
I could see this going both ways, but the most important thing you got to remember, similar to me, when the GM that drafted you is gone, anything's possible. You could end up being the new GM's favorite quarterback of all time, or you can get cast aside, and usually it's the latter. So I would not be surprised, and that's no knock on Sam. That's no slight on Sam. I think Sam's more than capable of being the quarterback there or at 31 other franchises. He can absolutely do it. I know he has the talent. It's just he needs players around him. Look what they've done for Josh Allen in the same amount of time that they've had Sam Darnold. Look at the differences in the roster.
Yeah.
The Bills have household names at receiver, at running back, at tight end. I mean, they have legitimate players and a good defense, great special teams. So don't tell me that Sam Darnold isn't maybe just about as good, if not better, potentially, than Josh Allen. I've seen these guys work out 100 times together, and they're very comparable talent-wise. Arm talent, all that kind of stuff. Those freaky throws that Josh Allen makes, Sam makes them all the time as well. He just doesn't have the players to help him out and make them. So if Sam goes somewhere else and they decide to pick Trevor Lawrence, hopefully they follow the right method and just take a look up north in Buffalo and figure out what they did, acquire other players in the draft and develop, sign key free agents at the time and hope you hit on them, Stephon Diggs, and roll the dice after that and let your quarterback develop. But either way, Sam's going to be just fine. I think he's a great player, and it might be better for both sides to just cut ties and move on.
Damian Orlovsky said the same thing, basically. Sanchez, we have to get to a break. We can't thank you enough for taking some moments today. I know it's going to be a busy day now that you're a big record deal album singer, you know. If you ever make a song, though, and you think it's potentially going to win a Grammy, I would appreciate the opportunity to maybe get a whistle in the background so I can be a Grammy nominated or Grammy winner.
Well, you got a solid set of backup singers there. I heard Thunder.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, well, we are a unified bunch, but I don't think that is what wins Grammys. I don't believe.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
But let's see. What did they say? Baby Alien, probably a country record, and then maybe like a reality spinoff, obviously. So that's coming down the pipe here soon, probably like tomorrow.
Well, we can't wait to see it. Baby Alien, maybe up in a cabin somewhere. People would love to watch it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Sanchez.
Thank you, guys.
He was out of this world on that show.
He's good.
He was good. Like, the singing was very, very good.
Yeah.
It was very surprisingly good, to be honest. I texted him this morning. He actually texted me this morning, and it might have still been up. It was an early text from me. I assume he had a long night last night. Not celebrating. I'm saying there's probably a lot of conversation. He said he was on a recap show and all this other shit. He sent me the clip of the spoiler alert, you know? And I woke up and I had a text from the Sanchez. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I click on it, and it's this little baby alien head. And my first thought was, is he puppeting that thing? Because that's insane. You have to worry about singing and puppeting. And I said, yeah, it's him. I was like, I sent a response back, not terrible.
Oh, it's good.
And he said, not terrible, question mark, as if like that was the biggest shot ever. I'm like, I'm sorry. Very above average, better than I would have been. He was like, thank you. And then I think he fell back asleep.
And from the sounds of it, you hit the nail on the head. They definitely did think he was going to fucking stink, and that's why they got him on there.
Yes, for sure. Sanchez knew differently, though.
He did.
Spoil the shit out of your dog with BarkBox. 2 toys and 2 treats and a chew. It starts as low as $22 a month, and for $60 worth of dog chews and toys, you're already saving $38 a month. It's the best day of the month for our dogs. It actually just came this morning. Ooh. And my dog's obviously squeaking the toys to death and enjoying the hell out of the treats. You're a hero whenever the BarkBox arrives, and you don't even have to think about it. BarkBox does it for you. Join now and get a free extra toy in every single box. That's $60 worth of toys for free over an entire year.
Wow.
Sign up your pup and get unique toys and snacks plus a free extra toy every single month. These are tailored toys and treats shipped free every single month. Start now and get $60 in free toys this year. Unique toys, USA made treats. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, Canada. Free monthly delivery and $60 in free extra toys. Go to barkbox.com/Pat. That's the one that looks like it's leaning forward if you're looking from left to right. The /. Barkbox.com/Pat. Pat, shout out to BarkBox. Literally came this morning. My dogs lost their shit.
Christmas in October.
Christmas in October for the dogs. You can do that for your dogs at barkbox.com/Pat. Big thanks to Mark Sanchez for joining us. Reese Davis joins us on the other side. 6 minutes, take a shit, do what you got to do. We're back on the other side. This is Thursday, October 15th. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
I'm just checking your availability. If you're in Indianapolis now, did you get to Buffalo?
Yeah, I got a plane that's supposed to take me down to game day anyway, so I could definitely have it go to Buffalo first. How long is the flight from Indy to Buffalo? You can find us a plane for like 4 o'clock. I think that'll be perfect.
The best we can do is depart around 5:30.
Okay, do we have any other, can you find any other planes that could get us out of here earlier than that? I was just asked if I could appear in Buffalo within the next 4 hours to basically do the show on Fox tonight.
Okay, I'll call you back.
You know what I'm asking for?
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to call Jim Irsay and see if I can just use Jim's jet. He's calling me back shortly, but just start packing.
Hey.
You're the absolute best. Does this sound like a potential yes, you're saying? He's the fucking best. I would be so thankful. Hey, this is really cool. I don't know how many billionaires would do this for people that have worked for them in the past. This is awesome, and I can't thank you guys enough. Can I take a kendo stick to his back?
We'll talk about it when you get here.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Hey, let's break the fucking internet tonight. What a hilarious life. We are live on Fox in 6 hours and 35 minutes. 3 hours of sleep, no clue what the storylines are. Just fucking let the nuts swing, bro. Let's just go out there and have a good time. Plane company. I know. Here we go, boys. All right. This is going to be a night we're going to look back on and remember. And then we're going to hop on a plane and head to Memphis for College Game Day. I think this is a joke too. I just want to let you know, like, this is a Truman Show. I very much understand that this is not supposed to happen. I got the text at 1:42 p.m. today from Mr. H that says, "Have you heard there have been some travel issues? Can you make your way to Buffalo?" Jim Irsay, owner of the Colts, literally lent me his plane. Might be the most confident I've ever been in something. I didn't know we were that good of friends, to be honest. I was throwing a Hail Mary, and he responded and said, yeah. So I got here about an hour and a half before the show, and to work with Renee, Tom, and be on SmackDown with a bucket of makeup on my face. This has been a dream come true bucket list type situation here in beautiful Buffalo, New York. Come on, boys. We're going to be on cable.
Here by Pat McAfee, replacing our guest commentator Aiden English.
No sleeves in, George. Good to see you.
It feels good here in Buffalo. I got a text from the game, a cerebral WWE official. He said, "Hey, you might have heard about the travel issues. Can you make it to Buffalo?" I said, "Absolutely." What a magical evening it is, November 1st, 2019. I mean, let's be honest. The Marine was a heater. You know what I mean? He's a great actor. He was great on The Real World. He was great on all of that. Tegan, That's how they do it in NXT, baby. Almost took me out holding another grown lady in the air. November 1st, 2019, greatest SmackDown in the history of SmackDown. Pat, you joining us? It might absolutely be correct the way things have gone here tonight. SmackDown in the history of SmackDowns, November 1st, 2019. It's documented. I had a good time out there, man. I had no idea what was happening, so it's really just a natural reaction to everything. That was awesome, dude. That's a real bucket list thing. Game day bucket list. This is like complete bucket list. 2 in 1 week. Oh yeah. Put a horseshoe shoved up my ass and a horseshoe owner lending us a plane. Are you kidding me, dude?
Aaron today said that basically Scott Stapp launched the career for Aaron Rodgers, and Scott Stapp then replied to Pat's tweet about it. So basically, Scott Stapp is now in our lives.
Yes!
Woo!
I just heard the news today.
It seems my life is gonna change. I take it on. I take them out my side. I'm hearing on and all my faith with arms wide open. That's incredible.
Boys, we did it.
Hey, let's welcome him with arms wide open.
We do. Scott Stapp, this is an open invitation. Whenever you want to come in, please.
We love you, Scott.
We love you, Scott.
Love you, buddy.
We love you, Scott.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Well, hello. It is Thursday, October 15th, 2020, and this is the Pat McAfee Show on SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio. Thank you for not barking over the beat drop from our friend Twine. Hour 2 begins right now. Hour 2, we'll see Reese Davis, host of College Game Day, talking to us here in about a couple minutes. Can't wait to do that. And also, we need to update something, a error that we potentially made in the first hour. This is not something that we do normally. We pride ourselves on normally being 100% right on everything all of the time. That is kind of our big thing for us. And we were corrected because somebody tweeted me last night that they shot a 300 in bowling and wanted to potentially talk about that on the show. We all came to a very quick agreement that there's no way that is true because you don't shoot a 300 in bowling. You roll a 300.
Thank you.
Yeah. Turns out Wyatt here, Baumgartner, tweets us and says, as a collegiate bowler, the correct term is I shot a 300 in the bowling ball.
Well, with all due respect to Wyatt, who is a collegiate bowler, this is a professional show, and you're fucking wrong.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
You roll a 300. I mean, you're wrong.
That is interesting, though, because I would assume that they said shot to make it sound as if it was more sports-like.
Maybe.
Like whenever they started saying it, they were like, if you say you rolled a 300, probably not as sport-like as I shot a 300, right? Because shot basketball, shot is in hockey, shot is in a lot of things. So you kind of get it into that, say, a golf, you kind of get it into that same sphere if you say shot as opposed to roll, which is its own world. And I say to them, like, just buy into your uniqueness.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Bocce, I guess you say you rolled yourself to a victory.
Right.
I guess you could say that. But other than that, there's not much you're rolling. So bowling should own that, we think. And we are right still.
Yeah. When you have a perfect round in darts, what do you think that's called? Is that probably shot?
Yeah, you probably shot
or
a perfect round.
Or you threw.
Yeah, you get it, whatever.
Cost.
All I know is I one day want to be able to go to one of them dart tournaments in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
Those things are electric.
Awesome. Yeah.
And whenever one of the big guys who's very sweaty and they're zoomed in very close on his face and they just get into a zone and the whole place is like, ah, ah, and they're just yelling, I want to be a part of that.
Live darts is fun to watch.
Will we ever have that again?
No, probably not.
Don't think so.
Unfortunately.
My batteries did die here on my headphones, and the person is on the phone, but I cannot hear a word they're saying if I don't have this in there. So what we just did there was a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, and Wyatt, by the way, if you actually played college bowling, let's see you in your your team's threats. Let's get a team.
Okay, so there's a question. Did you play college bowling?
Yeah, I mean, look.
So
everything's
now,
up in the air.
I mean, that digs into a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole new can of worms.
And I love bowling, okay?
Who doesn't?
Huge bowling.
Love it. Not great at it, but I enjoy it. It's just we didn't know the proper term. Joining us now that I can hear him, ladies and gentlemen, the host of College Game Day, a man who's incredibly handsome and professional, and somehow still maintains a level of coolness that you would not be able to expect from somebody who sounds as smart and intelligent as he does. Ladies and gentlemen, Reese Davis. What's going on, bub?
What's going on, man? I'm talking to you from the beautiful airport garage at Bradley International Airport before I hop on a plane. Doesn't get better than this.
Where is Bradley International at?
Bradley is north of Hartford. You haven't had the pleasure of coming to Bristol yet or not?
No. I went one time. They gave me the whole campus tour. A couple of people missed their meeting with me, and then I was out of there very quick. But is that where you live at? You're up in Connecticut full time?
Yeah. We've lived here a long time. I grew up in the South, but I'm a full-fledged nutmeg state guy now. I guess I've been here 25 years. They're a little over.
What part of the South did you grow up in?
I grew up in North Alabama, in Muscle Shoals. They've got the Swampers. They've been known to pick a song or two. Hit recording capital of the world, Pat.
Oh, okay, Reese. Wow. Respect that type of knowledge and a little bomb drop there. Where did you go to college at? Did you go to college in the South as well?
Yeah, I went to Alabama.
Roll Tide. Oh, okay. All right. So, Reese, this is awesome. You did what you always do, which is transition perfectly into a conversation. Roll some bitch Tide. Don't say that on ESPN. Please do not say that on ESPN. Obviously, Reese, you shouldn't say that on College Game Day, which is obviously an institution. But Alabama right now is staring down something that I think a lot of people thought could potentially happen before this season started, which is a massive name in the program, Nick Saban and the athletic director, test positive for COVID, much like other coaches have in the past. But this is Alabama-Georgia week. What is the entire take on the college football world with Nick Saban getting it, and how do you think he is doing through this? Because I heard he was Zoom coaching yesterday over like a voice of God type situation.
That's exactly what he was doing. He said in some ways he had a better view of practice because he could see it from an elevated position, see it being down on the field. But if I know Nick, and I do, it's driving him insane not to be there. We're glad, first of all, that he says he's feeling fine. That, he hasn't had any symptoms up to this point. We hope that continues to be the case. But it sort of rattles the program to the core because he's been the leader for so long. He's such a powerful presence on the sidelines, and I think it's a head coach situation that will doubtless impact the game. I think that's not making an excuse. It's not to say Alabama can't win, but when you have a presence of that magnitude on the sideline, it's not there. It's a big deal.
Well, it's just a distraction, too. And in a world full of distractions right now, having the guy who directs and dictates your entire day go missing just days before potentially the biggest game of the year is a wild storyline in this college football season that has already started out with a bunch of wild storylines. Speaking of, we're 1 week away from Big Ten football. Big Ten allowed 0 weeks for a buffer at all. And with what we have seen around college football, that's going to come back and bite them in the ass, I would assume, at some point, right?
I can't imagine that they won't get through it without having a postponement or two here or there. And I think that's something, Pat, that's really important to mention. And I don't mean to diminish the severity of the virus. We all understand how serious and deadly it potentially can be. But it's a pandemic. And in many ways, viruses are going to virus. And you can't build a foolproof situation. I know the bubbles for the NHL and the NBA were highly effective, but I'm not sure that anything is impenetrable. I mean, Saban, for instance, has been diligent and about distancing and mask and hand washing and all those types of things that we all tried to do to maintain safety. And even that, didn't keep him from getting it. And we've had countless other people who've been in that situation. So I would be surprised, happily, pleasantly surprised, but surprised if the Big Ten gets through its entire schedule without a hiccup here or there.
That is interesting because whenever the Titans got their massive outbreak in the NFL, everybody was like, oh, the Tennessee Titans have obviously made a big mistake, and now they're jeopardizing everything. And then when you hear Saban gets it, you have to automatically assume that Saban is probably being as diligent as he possibly could because of the amount of importance that having a season is to him. It really can get anywhere, it feels like, until we hear the stories on how these things began. Is there any thought of where it came from? Because he and the AD got it, right? Isn't that
That's correct.
So is that they're probably in a powerful meeting somewhere potentially? Then.
The thing, I don't know that they have anything scientific in terms of the tracing yet. Their guess and working theory initially was that perhaps, they've had 2 road games, and that because they're in contact with more people when you travel just by nature, I mean, I'm about to get on a plane, it's just what you do, that maybe it was contracted that way. I mean, you never know for sure. I understand that Ole Miss has had some player outbreaks. Nothing up to this point, to my knowledge anyway, has been, in any sport really, has been tied to outbreak within competition, or transmission, I should say, within competition. So, I don't know if that would have anything to do with it, but I, understand Ole Miss has had a few player cases, which up to this point, at least to my knowledge, Alabama has not had that, just Nick Saban and Greg Byrne, the athletic director.
And when we talked to Lane Kiffin before the season started, he talked about how he talked to some of his friends in the SEC that wouldn't have been able to field a team with the massive outbreak that they had at the beginning, but they seem to be able to curve that thus far. Hopefully that'll be able to continue. Obviously the Saban thing is massive news, especially this week. I want to talk about you, though, with College Game Day, because before you came on, and that's probably a call from somebody at ESPN telling you to get off the phone with us, and if that's the case, we appreciated your time thus far. We were talking about right before you came on the air about how those European dart events we were talking about and how the whole place starts going crazy as he's getting hot. And we wondered and speculated, like, will we ever see that again, I wonder? With College Game Day, I got the chance to experience, 5 weeks of it or whatever? It was electrifying. There is not a lot of, that is a rock concert. That is a concert. It is awesome. And then this year it's been completely different. How has it been, obviously, adjusting to what everybody has had to adjust to here in 2020? And what are your thoughts on going forward? Do you think, and I believe this, I think those crowds will come back, but it's going to take a little bit, I assume, after this whole thing gets cleared up.
That's what I think too, Pat. I think they'll come back. I think people are hungry for it. People need human interaction and human connection. Obviously, we can't do it right now because we have to maintain safety, but I think that people crave that, and we certainly do. As far as the show, once it gets started and all of us start talking ball, when you come on and we start having fun, it seems pretty close to normal in terms of the discussion of football. What's missing and what is evident is the electricity that you mentioned when you walk up on the set. And the thing that I love is the instantaneous feedback. You say, like this weekend, if I said something about, Alabama's defense is terrible and Georgia's going to be able to score big, you'd get boom, And so you miss out on that instantaneous feedback, whether it's good or bad, and you draw energy from that. Doesn't mean we're flat when we come on and do the show now, but it's a good little adrenaline bump that I miss, and I can't wait until we get it back.
Yeah, in your profession, by the way, there's not a lot of gigs that get that. I mean, I guess WWE crowd, same exact feeling, but normally in the commentator role, it's not for you, really. It's not for your every word they're hanging on. In your world, and you do basketball and football, it is awesome to watch the life that you are living right now. Was there any thought whenever you were probably down there with a red polo on and probably, I assume, khaki shorts, and you probably had those things, what are those things called? The croquis that you guys wear in the South, those things behind there. Was there ever a thought that this is what you would be doing? Because Game Day is the greatest show on earth right now.
My goal wasn't to do Game Day per se, but I wanted to have the most prominent position that was available to me in college football. That was the goal. So it turned out that this was it, and I'm grateful for it, and I love it. I always felt like I would be doing this. I just thought it would come at the end of a long and illustrious playing career, like you or Herbstreit or Pollock or Desmond or somebody. And that didn't happen at all. So I'm glad. I'm really glad to be a part of it. I love the sport. I've loved it since I was a little boy, and to be able to be part of what I think is the greatest show on television, and the most the most diverse and difficult studio/event show to do. I'm really happy to be a part of it, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the people behind the scenes at College Game Day are awesome. We got a chance to meet them, and they're roadies, right? They're basically they're building the set, they're putting everything together. It's incredible what they do. It was very nice to meet them and hang out with them. Did you play football growing up? Obviously, you did.
I did. I played it very poorly. I played, I played into high school. I was a terrible player. I always like to joke because of what I do that people say, did you play sports in college? And my standing joke is, no, my talent ran out after high school, though all of my high school teammates would tell you it ran out a long time ago.
That's a good joke.
But yeah, no, I loved it. I played everything growing up. Wasn't great at it, but I enjoyed it, so I'm glad to be a part of it now.
Best, now you get asked this all the time, I would assume, and this sucks that I'm doing this to you, that you have to give one answer, because I've seen a couple of the emails now that I'm privy to this information about how every week it feels like the next week's crowd can't be as good as that week's crowd, and then you get to a place and you're like, I'll tell you what, there's no way that place can be able to keep up with this. And last year was like that. I started in South Dakota State. I think the entire state was there. It was electric and awesome. And they're like, oh, just wait till next week. It's like, so then we got to Memphis and it was the entire city. I was like, this place is awesome. It can't get any better. Then we get to, and then we just kept going. It was like every place seems to outdo itself, and it's all because they're all like epic. Is there any show that you remember and you think back, like, if we could bottle that and get that again, that'd be cool?
Washington State. It's easy for me. I mean, Memphis was great. South Dakota State was great. There have been so many awesome ones, but Washington State was great because it had just been a crusade for that fan base, getting the flag to every show for 15 years and doing it on their own. And it was just like it was like just some type of cathartic release for Cougar Nation when we showed up. And man, it was so much fun, Pat. You would have soaked that up, man. I wish you'd been with us then when we went to the Palouse that weekend. It was a blast, and I can't wait until we can experience those things again. But to me, I've said it many times, and Cougar Nation loves me for it, and everybody else hates me, but everybody else is playing for second. That's that.
Well, I respect that. I can't wait for you to put on a hell of a show this week. Do you lock down now? You got to go get tested and get locked down? Is that what has to happen?
Yeah, I go get locked down. I've passed the test so far. I passed the early week one, so I should be in good shape. So
I'll tell you what, I had to take a couple for the WWE, and we take 2 people in the office every week take a test. You don't think you have the test or you don't think you have the virus until the person with the gas mask comes up to you to try to test you, and you're like, oh, it feels like I must have it. This is the case. It's so congratulations on all negative tests. I know it's not easy.
all right, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reese Davis. Thank you, Reese. Cool guy. Cool guy. Very nice guy.
Calls everything.
Thought he was from Georgia.
Close.
Yeah.
You're right, Nick.
That's what I was saying, though. Like, never really got a chance to talk to the guy. I showed up. He's moving. We're moving. They're moving. I mean, a lot of things are happening. He's hosting the show. I am just a little small piece. Do not interrupt said guy who probably has to go through the entire show and have everything going. But he's always been very nice to me. Never got to know him. Happy we got to talk to him.
He's a great guy.
Good guy. Great guy. But, yeah, he does everything. He's in front of – he's a rock star TV person.
Yeah, I saw he called the World Cup in 2006.
What? I wonder if he has any.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he called the World Cup.
Good for him. That's the world's game.
That is the world.
A lot of eyes on that.
The world's game.
I wonder if he has any ambition to go from that desk into the booth like Fowler would do.
And did do. Yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued. That crew over there, they live like it's a concert every single weekend that they have to travel around. It is huge. And by the way, I'd watched in the NFL facility. It's on in every NFL facility on Saturdays because Saturday you come in, rehab, walk through, there's some meetings, but for kickers and punters, there's nothing for us to do. So just kind of hang out in the training room. And it's on in every single NFL facility. Became a big fan of the show. I'm like, that has to be awesome. And then you go to it and you're like, yeah. It is. Like, it is the energy is, it is electric out there. It is cool. And everybody's hammered.
Yeah.
There's a lot of families. I'm probably not supposed to say that, but there's a lot of families, obviously, because college football is college football. But scattered amongst them is obviously the college kids that potentially were still doing it from Friday.
Yep.
And then they come college game day. Then they pass out. Then they wake up. We're doing 2-a-days on Saturday, college game day, and the big game at night. It is an awesome environment. And I would recommend, once the world is safe enough to obviously go do something like that, definitely venture to one of those. Even if it's not your team, I think you would have a good time because it's a festival, basically. It's a good time.
When it's 10 degrees in Minnesota and there's shirtless kids and there's snow on the ground, you can't assume that there may be a little bit of intoxication.
No.
Hey,
That's just Minnesota, baby.
The game.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, they love the Gophers. Row the boat, dude, okay?
This guy loved the game.
The guy also had shaved in there didn't they have the
axe?
I think they had the thing, the row, the oar was shaved in the guy's chest. That Minnesota day was very cold.
Oh, yeah.
I just stood there for like 2.5 hours.
It was brutal. Oh, yeah.
Me, Foxy, and Zito just stood there for 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes. Did not know there was an inside room that we could have sat in. That would have been very nice. I mean, did not know, had no idea. And that's because we show up very late and we get there as the show's starting. And it's like, here you go. This is what we need you for. We need you for this one particular part here at this time. And then we'll need you at this one particular time, 2 hours apart. It's like, okay, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And then we just stand there and everybody just runs around us the entire time. That's what happened all last year. Everybody just ran around us.
Spot on.
Kirk Herbstreit sprints by us. He's like, hey, Kirk's like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Coach Corso comes by. It's like, legend, how's it going? He's like, hey, the whole thing. And that's where Reese normally, by the way, that's where I would meet with Reese or whatever. And then we would just stand there. And then they would move somebody else and we would just stand there. And then they would move somebody in and we just stand there. We held it down.
We were watching the talent-only bathrooms. And then like sometimes like a staff that was not talent would use it. And Lee Corso would just be waiting to use the bathroom.
Yeah, and they would open a door and feel terrible. It's like whenever you're using like a handicap stall. And it's never happened to me, obviously, and I'm very thankful for that. Thank God. But I would imagine that the same awkwardness coming out of a handicap stall, if somebody who is supposed to be in the handicap stall is waiting outside of it, is the same exact awkwardness that the staff had whenever they opened it. And Lee Corso was just standing there. They're like,
oh
so
my
sorry.
God.
You probably have to get back on the stage right now because it's also fast moving.
Yeah.
There's sprinting that happens.
Oh, I know.
There's a video. Zito was like, you should put this out as a Throwback Thursday. I'm sprinting through Memphis, and I have to jump over like a 4-foot barrier. It just pops up. Like I just jump over it, and then we just keep on moving.
I get that.
Yeah, and Zito was like, Zito got it on camera because he was out. We had to go through a bar, through an alley, back down a road to get to somewhere we had to be. And it was the first time I was ever on like back-to-back.
You got
segments.
1 minute. That's bad.
Yeah, you have like 59 seconds or something like that. It's like, okay, so Zito is already in the back. I come running out and you got like a cop in front of me, like a cop behind me, and I jump over this. I don't know what it was. It was like a barrier of some sort.
Cement barricade.
I jump over and we just keep running or whatever. And Zito's like jogging next to me. He's like, you look like fucking Keanu Reeves.
It was moving so fast. I actually got lost way back in the pack.
Yeah. So it was a sprint through there, and Zito's like, I got it. And Zito's like, I think trying to show it to me while we're running. Zito's like, dude, I got this. We should put out.
I'm on air right now.
College game day was very, very. They were very hospitable to us. Very hospitable to us.
Great breakfast.
They had a great spread.
Not mentioned enough.
We did that Thursday night football game, and it was a remote broadcast, which meant we didn't even have the ability to look at the screen or do replays because the footage from the game was being shot from the stadium to Connecticut, then back to us to run in our little monitors in front of us. So it was 6 seconds behind. So whatever we were talking about on the monitor would have been 6 seconds behind or whatever. So we couldn't even look at replays or anything like that. And you could probably tell that they probably don't spend like the biggest hotel budget either for those types of games, if that's what they're doing, you know what I mean? It is. So whenever we got a chance to experience college game days, hotels, and college game days, I was like, oh my God, these dudes are living the fucking life.
This is the worldwide leader.
Oh my God.
Okay.
This is awesome. And also, those Thursday night games were in a lot of small, very small cities, not a lot of options. What's up, Nick?
I was just hoping you were going to elaborate on the time in Memphis a little bit.
What are you talking about?
Just the culture, the people,
the
environment.
Yeah, listen, we will not bury Memphis. That has happened already.
Look at this.
Yeah, look, he's wearing a Beale Street Memphis shirt right here. Look at that. He's representing.
Zito did get something every single place that you guys went last year.
Well, he had to get that one because it was freezing.
It was so cold. You were wearing shorts in that.
I was wearing shorts, yeah. And everybody on the internet was like, I do believe Archie Manning loved that I was wearing shorts at Memphis or whatever. Everybody was talking about how it was so impressive I was wearing shorts or whatever. And whenever I arrived at the production thing, they literally looked at my shorts and, do you have pants? I said, no, I don't. They're like, you don't have any pants in the bag that you brought here? And I was like, no, I don't have any pants at all. I have another pair of jorts, though, if we want to go, because I wore them on SmackDown last night. So I could wear those jorts if you'd like. And to be honest, when I heard Memphis, I thought it was going to be warm.
Yeah.
So I do not have any other. They had somebody go try to buy, this is at 6:30 a.m., try to buy a pair of 38 pants or whatever. And a person never made it back because those roads were closed everywhere and everything like that. And I go on the screen, obviously, wearing the shorts or whatever. And then all of a sudden, there's just an onslaught of tweets about my shorts or whatever, and they were like, I was told good decision to make the shorts or whatever. It was a crowd pleaser or something like that. I was like, well, to be honest, I thought it was going to be 75 degrees. This wasn't like oh, I'm going to wear shorts when it's 32 degrees or something like that. It was Tennessee. It was Memphis, and by the way, I was very, very wrong. It was not
so cold.
It was not warm at all.
Winters.
Saw some kid just puke up like chocolate milk. It looked like that. And in the back alleys, they were out there early. Beale Street was out there early. They were doing it. I mean, it was awesome. And then you go to the next place, and it's like, well, this place is awesome. And then you go to Columbus, Ohio, and it's like, well, this place. They are insane environments.
The coolest one that I saw was in North Dakota because they did. It was like part of like in a North Dakota town, and it had like the shops and the bars on each side, and they had like people in like wooden balconies and stuff like that all on the street. So very similar to Beale Street. They've been to so many cool places.
Yeah, very cool. This, by the way, South Dakota State's way better than North Dakota.
Oh, I'm just talking about the setup too.
Yeah,
Go Jacks.
Well, it sure sounded like you were trying to ruin our relationship with South Dakota.
Well, one football team's better than the other, so who do you want to have a relationship with?
Oh, Pheasant State, dude. Pheasant State.
Pheasant State, bro.
Which is South Dakota State.
Oh.
By the way.
Pheasant State.
Just got a hoodie from them. That's camouflage. It says Pheasant State, and it's South Dakota State University.
That actually was my favorite stop. They were electric.
It was the entire state.
It was so awesome.
The entire state was out there. And they gave us a pheasant sandwich on our way out.
Whoa, how's pheasant?
You know?
Mayo overloaded.
Oh, really? You got to soak it in mayo?
No. I believe you don't.
Oh.
There was just a chance that the sandwiches we got had 7 scoops of mayonnaise on it.
Who was working behind the
pheasant desk? I don't know.
Well, you got to think, it was good. The bites were good. It was just felt like an overload.
The bison steak.
Bison steak was also very, very good out there. The mayonnaise thing, because I am a mayonnaise fan. Okay, I am a mayo fan, which probably doesn't surprise a lot of people. Yes, in college I used it as a chip dip numerous occasions.
Ooh.
Like I am a mayonnaise person. But when you order at a sandwich shop, like let's say Subway, and you get mayonnaise on there, you have to be very specific. One line of mayonnaise.
Right.
Yeah. Because if not, they'll
squirt the bottle.
And it's like, yo, I like mayonnaise. I'm a big fan of mayonnaise, but what you just did to that fucking sandwich right there was uncalled for.
Murdered it.
And there's only so many times you can have that happen to your sandwich and your bun gets completely ruined that you don't finally just say one line of that fucking mayonnaise, please. Sandwich artist.
I'm not Brian Windhorst. I mean, I just want one line.
I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. Oh, jeez.
Oh, come on, dude.
We got to get to a break. That was disgusting.
I bit my tongue for so long.
Bro, what happened today?
I'm having a great day. It's Thursday.
Oh, you think this is like a heater show for you?
I personally am enjoying the rainy day that I woke up to and the scrambler I had this morning.
All right.
A lot of hate in that scrambler.
Thursday, October 15th. We'll take some phone calls on the other side. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. Zito, what's the poll sitting at? Because I assume we're going to talk about that on the other side with some caller. Big college football show today, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
We don't normally do that. And the numbers did not just immediately tank, by the way. Awesome news.
Georgia Bama.
They did. They stayed very flat.
It feels like it's coming back. It hasn't felt like college football yet, but now that the Big Ten's almost there and Pac-12's coming around and SEC's getting into their schedule.
Yeah, you just did a good sell for it there, and I don't think anybody cares about any of that. I'm very intrigued because I've become a college football fan because it's become like almost a job now at this point, right? And whenever we talk about it on this show, the numbers just go down.
NBA.
It's NBA, same thing. Be like, hey, football guys, talk football, but only NFL football. And we talk college football with one of the voices of college football, and this shit plateaued, baby. Hey, here we go. That's a good day. That's why Reese Davis is electric. Now, Zito, to your big ass poll. Sorry about that.
Yeah, massive poll today. According to Jay Fowler at ESPN, only 3 teams in play for Lev Bell. Where will he go? Dolphins are at 24.5%. Chiefs are at 35.6%. And Bills are at 39.9%.
Okay, that is where Jeremy Fowler.
Jay Fowler?
Jay Follower is what you call him there.
Yeah, tomatoes.
It is. I did good research there to get that insight, and Zito just dumps all over it. It does feel like...
Just like OBJ?
The Bills would be a great home for him. Jeez. The Bills would be a great home for him. They're 28th or 26th in rushing or something like that. Get another weapon, why not? And it keeps it out of Bill Belichick's hands. Dolphins would be a great weapon or a great place for him because it keeps it out of Belichick's hands. And your team, as Gumpy stated earlier, 1 game out of first place in the AFC East. And if you're the Chiefs, if you can get Le'Veon Bell on that roster as well, what do you do? And they have not played their best football, but like maybe once, against the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah.
So they're still building their team. If you get one more key piece in there that you can build around, and is he the same guy from 3 years ago? All TBD. What would this show look like on the other side? Also, TBD. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, October 15th, right here on Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Pat McAfee. Used to hold balls for Adam Vinatieri. Now I'm in his home state. College game day is absolutely electric. In Brookings,
College game day has made the voyage to Brookings, South Dakota to experience a game with the best fans in college football. I unfortunately cannot attend because I have a game this Sunday, so I sent a man I trust to make my picks. A man who was my holder for almost a decade. Please be nice to him. Welcome this week's celebrity guest picker, Pat McAfee.
Go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Hosting Auburn. Yes, everybody saw this. The best fake punt in the world. What do you think, Pat?
I absolutely loved it all the way up until execution time. That is not what we like to show in the brand headquarters and punting and kicking world.
Oh, dance off. Oh, let's get weird. Yes. Duck that, huh?
Bang! Right off the top of the dome. That makes it a lot easier when you got a dummy standing right in front of you like that.
Running. Daniel Russo.
Wax on, wax off, knee to the face.
Yes. Serious.
Go. Yes.
These teams stink. That team, they celebrate by doing shotguns. And I'm a big fan of that. I'm going with the University of Virginia Cavaliers. That was great. Whoa! I will never, ever in the history of my life cut against that ball. Oklahoma State is the way here. Not so fast again.
But I'm going with Trey.
Please excuse my dumb friend Kirk. Look at this crowd. They've been out here since 4 a.m. College game day comes to town. They lose their mind. The population of this state is about 800,000. And when the Jackrabbits take the field, they're alongside all 800,000 South Dakotans. The Dakota marker was in Fargo for far too long. Today, 5 o'clock local time, the Dakota marker is back in beautiful Brookings, South Dakota. Adam Vinatieri School. They might be the Jackrabbits, but they're the GOATs today. Ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota State with the win.
Give me that place in.
No, don't do that. No. Leave.
Policy has the Pat says it'll be no.
I told you I came on your radio show that we were going to get you on college game day.
Not only are you incredibly intelligent and handsome, you're a man of your word. You picked North Dakota today, so I had to bury you.
That's okay.
But it's been nothing but incredible. The college game day crew is hospitable. In South Dakota State, I think we can all agree, they showed up here. Yeah. But I loved it. I've watched the show, obviously, forever. And it's on in every single NFL locker room. My coaches are. Yeah. So this is a big time deal for me, my family, my friends.
All right, I'm back in the day here. Appreciate you, boys.
It's from the training room of the Colts. A.J. Watt tweeted. Text from every human that I've ever done television with, like since way back in the day. They're like, we knew this day would come. Equipment managers, old teammates. I mean, you don't get to trend on Twitter often anymore. They make it damn near impossible. Go up onto a stage with a couple legends and talk some shit in front of the incredible South.
Doing it for the brand. It's the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here, Thursday, October 15th. Foxy just did some math on time there. Ooh. Coming out of the YouTube break there.
Go, Foxy.
It was very, very close there. That was good work, Fox. Thanks. Good work, bub. I want to ask you one simple question. How much time do you spend on your mattress in your bedroom?
Oh, yeah.
Think to yourself, is it in the morning during the weekend when you're just watching maybe College Game Day or something else like that? Or is it at night when you decide to move from the living room into your bedroom a little bit earlier than you probably would be telling the rest of the world that you're doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Are you eating wingies in your bed like your Tone Diggs, who recently got married and that had to stop, but I think he did do it on a regular occasion?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Are you watching movies in the bed? Because Netflix is just so Netflix and chill in the bed like feeling.
What?
Are you maybe doing your business from your computer or your phone now that everybody works from home, from the mattress that you have in your bedroom?
What?
You get it. There's a lot of reasons to be in your bed and why you're in your bed the most. And let's not even talk about how the body has a scientific role and duty to recharge. And where do you recharge that at?
In bed.
In bed. The mattress is one of the most important piece of furniture in your entire house, because it not just affects how your house looks, not just affects how your house feels, but it affects how you operate day to day.
Yep.
The mattress buying process has been an archaic one for a long, long time. You walk into a creepy building. There's a salesman or lady sitting there as if they're about to sell a car, but actually, in fact, it's a mattress.
Whoa.
They walk you around selling you a bunch of bullshit, and then they have you lay down in a mattress and roll around in somebody else's sweat, somebody else's lice, somebody else's God know what. And then they ask you, are you comfortable in this one, or you want one with less springs? You want a little bit more foam? And are any of your answers actually right, or are you just saying you're comfortable to get the hell out of that situation?
Yep.
That's why Leesa is such an important company. Leesa took all that bullshit out of the mattress buying experience and makes it very convenient and very comfortable for you to get the most comfortable mattress you've ever tried in your entire life. This is how it works. You go to Leesa.com/McAfee. And on there, you will pick a mattress. There's various kinds of mattresses. There's ones that keep you hot or cold if you need it. There's ones that have different sizes and sides and comfort levels and everything like that. But when you go there, you'll buy a mattress. It'll show up on your doorstep in a box. You will take said box to bedroom. Unboxing takes less than 5 minutes, and voila, guess what just showed up at your doorstep? A mattress that has been scientifically studied to be more comfortable than any other mattress you've ever had in your entire life.
Wow.
And right now, when you go to Leesa.com/McAfee, you can get up to $500 off their super duper premier mattress, up to $300 off, I think, on another one, and $250 off on another one. Now is the time to change the way you spend your life in your mattress. Make it comfortable, make it convenient, make it Leesa.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Is that potentially like award-winning
Yes.
ad?
Yeah.
Especially with the music in the back.
I mean, yeah, the way that faded out almost perfect.
I mean, it was perfectly at zero there for the song. Shout out to us,
That
dude.
might be on ABC tonight during prime time.
Are we a fucking professional show or not? People are asking.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, let's get to phones real quick. There are some things we should talk about. Now we will before we talk to the phone. So Dak Prescott has answered basically anybody's questions on how he's feeling, how he's doing. He was in the back of an SUV, potentially a G-Wagon, Billy Tube said that whenever he watched the video. And he basically said he's in good spirits, and everybody reaching out to him made him feel better. His exact words were actually this.
What's up, everyone? Just want everyone to know that I'm doing well. And I can't thank you enough for all your love, your support, your prayers. Over the last few days, they've been more than overwhelming. From teammates to family to friends to fans I don't know to former and current players around the league and players around all sports. I just wanted to say thank you. They're definitely appreciated and received well. So just knowing that I have that much love and support out there makes a huge difference. In great spirits. Headed to see the doctor, headed to see my leg for the first time post-surgery. So just ready to start this road to comeback. I know this little adversity is just going to be another chapter in the book. I'm excited to move forward and write it. Just once again, can't thank you all enough for your love and your support through it all. But I'm in great spirits. I'm going to stay that way. I'm looking forward to this football season, seeing the game in a different perspective, and supporting my teammates and those around the league that need it. And just excited for God's purpose and God's plan. I know it's bigger than anything that I see or that I could have imagined, but I'm trusting Him. My faith is doubled down more than ever, and I'm thankful that He's my Savior and He guides me in life. So I know through Him, all this will be possible, and all this will be a great comeback and a great story. So once again, thank you for your support. Thank you for your love, and ready to get this journey of the comeback started. So God bless you all. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
I did not know that Dak Prescott was a super religious guy. I found that out through the video, but I do like to see that he's incredibly high. Not there's anything wrong with that, by the way. I know that some people are thinking that that is an attack on religion, whichever. It was not. I just simply stated the fact that I did not know that about Dak. No. Now I do. Doesn't change how I feel about him. Just an interesting stat or fact that came out in a video at the back of a G-Wagon that I just watched. With that being said, great to see that he's in great spirits.
Yeah.
It feels like all the love that was sent to him is also the love letting him know that he's probably in better negotiation spot now than he was just last offseason because of how good he's been off to start here. Now the Cowboys haven't won games, and what happens if Andy Dalton goes on and wins a bunch of games for America's team and gets into the playoff? I think that'll be a story to tell in of itself, which is what Dak Prescott is referring to about how this entire story is going to be an amazing one and everything like that. I am pumped about it. And I think he's going to get paid a lot of money, strictly because people who seem to know things from people that pay people a lot of money are saying he's going to get paid a lot of money. And Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones have come out on record saying they're going to pay him, but what are they going to pay him? Remember last offseason it was $175 million or something like that with a $45 million guarantee in year 4 or year 5 or something like that. I forget what it was. He wanted a 4-year deal. Jerry and the Cowboys wanted a 5-year deal. He wanted a 4-year deal because he wanted to hit again in year 5 and get another massive contract, which, by the way, you can appreciate and respect business-wise. They wanted him for 5 years because then maybe they don't have to pay him as much after that because there's another year in the books. It is all business-wise, which is why you have to wonder how the business of this is going to work out. But I think with how gruesome the injury was and how some networks actually blurred it out, which made it 10 times worse, by the way, whenever they blurred. No, I don't know, actually. It was bad either way, but it was so bad it got blurred out. I'm intrigued. And then the exit, obviously, while he was driving off in the back of the golf cart with his fist up crying and the place going crazy for him, like 25,000 fans, sounded like 70,000 fans. I mean, it was amazing. Maybe because of how this whole story has gone, Jerry and Steven will stick to their words about paying him. But this could become very interesting whenever this conversation starts cooking back up on whether or not Jerry's going to pay him. What happened with Andy? Mike McCarthy, how does he feel? Does he like Andy Dalton more than Dak because he's actually coached more games with Andy Dalton? I mean, there's going to be so much drama and controversy around it all. There'll be a lot of conversation. Let's just hope it ends with Dak getting a shit ton of money because everybody on earth, including us, thinks he deserves that.
And if you did want to spin this positively,
nice, very good there.
No one had turned on, not that they would have, not saying that his play would have dropped off the season, but no one had turned on him yet this season. Everyone was just talking about how bad the defense was and the offense was doing their part. So potentially good situation for Dak.
Well, it's not a good situation.
Not the injury part.
But rehab is going to suck, by the way. I would like to see if he can give, I hope he can give in like a month from now that positive of a message because rehab can beat you down. Like rehab can really mentally, obviously, physically, everything. I would assume Dak is going to attack this head on as he always does for everything. But that was a good video to see, I think. That was a very good video.
Yeah, not to spin this negatively, but is Dak's leadership in question just because at the end of the video he didn't tell us to go vote?
Great. Hey.
You're 1,000. You are. Good.
Now, if we go by the rules of the internet, the fact that he made a video and did not say vote at the end, is he even allowed to be a quarterback in the NFL?
That's what I'm saying. Is he a leader or not?
Oh, no.
We got questions, dude. By the way, you should go vote on the poll that Zito has out today. Zito, what is the poll that you have and what is the current results?
Yes, according to Jay Fowler at ESPN.
Nailed it.
Thank you. Only 3 teams in play for Lev Bell. Where will he go? Dolphins, 24.6%. Chiefs, 35.5%. And Bills, 39.9%.
Okay, so the Bills are still the leader in the clubhouse, although the Chiefs are making a run for it.
Yeah.
Multiple people have gotten multiple messages that Le'Veon Bell, or Le'Veon Bell, depending on how you pronounce it, was in the airport in Buffalo last night. And then some people are saying he was in the airport in Kansas City last night. Le'Veon Watch is in full effect right now in the internet with over 11,000 votes. 39.9% think he's going to end up in Bills Mafia, which would be awesome, by the way, for the Bills, because it makes them hopefully a more dynamic offense, gives Josh Allen another option. And with the ability of Josh Allen to run and move, if you got 2 of those guys in the backfield, good. I don't know what their current running back is. I know they're ranked 26th or 28th or whatever. That would be a great spot for Le'Veon Bell with the Bills, who are trying to make a play here now that the dynasty is potentially dead in New England. And then also the Dolphins for the same exact reason. Their team gets better, and it's not going to he's not going to the Patriots. The Patriots aren't getting better. And if you're the Chiefs, I have no idea how they'll be able to have him fit into that offense, but I assume Andy Reid will be able to do it with that dry erase board, beautiful mind, and all the shit that he cooks up for that offense.
Their current running back, they drafted Devin Singletary last year, and he had a good year last year, and they drafted another running back early this year, I believe from Utah, Zach.
This is the Bills you're referring to?
Yeah, the Bills. So they do, but the running game just hasn't produced yet. And Le'Veon Bell will help that.
Let's go to Tyler in Detroit. What's going on, Tyler?
Oh, no. What's up, boys? How we doing?
Not too shabby. How are you, bub?
Pretty good on this Thursday.
Oh, nice. Happy for you, man.
All right, so I just want to say, basically, where would you see Stafford fit in another NFL team?
Oh, great question, Tyler. From Detroit, probably a Lions fan. Sick of seeing their guy, Matt Stafford, who can chug a beer better than most humans on earth, can throw a ball better than most humans on earth, and has been on an organization and a team that has seemed like tried to curse their own team and lose every single game.
Yeah, you know where I want to see him, actually? I've thought about this just this week. I want to see him in Indianapolis. Phillip Rivers isn't working. Make the trade. Get Matthew Stafford in our city. And the Colts might be a Super Bowl contender like that.
I will say this. Matthew Stafford is a guy who I think the entire NFL fan base feels bad for.
Yes.
And Matthew Stafford, I think everybody has the mindset that guy, really good quarterback.
Yeah.
And normally, whenever you're on a team that is a perennial loser, the tie is that the quarterback is terrible, and the quarterback is the reason why. With Matthew in Detroit, everybody's like, really good quarterback, terrible franchise. And I think if he was to leave, it's nice to know that not only will the entire NFL's fans be happy for him that he's going to somewhere else and potentially could win and not be in a cursed organization because they chose not to pay Calvin Johnson when they're billionaires and it was only a certain amount of money, and that Calvin Johnson curse has kind of carried them through multiple double-digit leads into losing games and everything like that. But also Lions fans losing a good quarterback in a bad franchise would be happy for him to go have success elsewhere, and you guys would all say, we know it wasn't you.
Yeah.
It wasn't us either. It was the franchise.
Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome.
100%. He deserves better and greener pastures.
If he came to Indianapolis, I think team automatically gets better. No shot at Phil Rivers, but Phil Rivers takes shots in the defensive meeting rooms too often. Okay, and that is something that we need to stop doing. I mean, I don't know much about much. Okay, and Phil Rivers is Hall of Fame level quarterback and all that. It's gonna be a conversation. But I do know that the top 3 stats into deciding who's the winner and the loser of a game, number 1, the score. Okay, that is the stat. That is the most important stat in the game. Number 2, turnover margin, turnover ratio. If you're +2, you're winning at like an 86 or 87%, whatever it is. And number 3 is field position. Okay, and the reason why I know those top 3 stats is because that number 3 one there, I had to utilize as my only negotiation in my only leverage in negotiation. So I don't know how many humans know that stat. I would assume everybody in football knows that stat. You can't just turn over the ball at an alarming rate in the sport because possessions are so damn important. Having the ball is so important. So whenever you sacrifice your own and give them an extra one, it is catastrophic to your team normally. And that's why the Jameis Winston thing, I think if you talk to anybody who knew football, and I think we were saying it was going to be very difficult for a team to give him a bunch of money because turnovers are the number 2 indicator on if you win or not. And he was, for whatever reason, whether it was Bruce Arians' offense, the fact he couldn't see anything, he got LASIK, whatever it was, he threw for incredible amounts of yards, but he just set himself up to not be paid because everybody had an excuse that he turns the ball over so much. So it's just like, I think he was in a situation. Phil Rivers, this guy will turn the ball over, not even blink, and turn the ball over again. Like it's just, all right, hey, we'll get him next time, Dad. And it's like, I agree, we will get him next time. Hopefully, if you don't give the other team the ball, hopefully that'll happen. But I want to let you know that we weren't always privy to these stats that we have now. But now you just got a binder full of stats that basically say, like, you should blink and think about maybe turning the ball over again. And that's why I love Phillip Rivers, because he's a, don't worry about it. I'm going to move forward. Here we go. I'm nothing. But also, you can see how maybe Indianapolis Colts fans are like, we are done with this fucking guy, aren't we? Because it is a detriment to your team when that happens. But hopefully, Phillip Rivers will be able to turn around. No big deal. But if he was to get Matt Stafford out here, I think there would be some excited fans who know and look into his stats and like, he threw for what? He threw for how much? He's like top 5 in almost everything when it comes to yards for his age. I mean, it's just like next level stuff.
And for Phil and the people that do do defend him. They're like, well, his stats are still the same. Like his average of depth of throw. And yeah, but like if you open your fucking eyes and look.
Whoa, dude, come on.
No shots at Phil. No shots at Phil.
Oh,
But when you look at the stats.
Maybe shots at those people's eyes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Look at the stats.
Anyways, Matthew Stafford in Indy would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
This was like a defining year. Now, as Lions fans, we stink again. We can get rid of Matthew. Patricia's not going to last. So send him somewhere where he's going to win games.
You know where else would be cool for him?
Where?
I don't know. Maybe Pittsburgh.
Ooh, I can get on board with that. I'll become a Steelers fan.
How long is Ben going to play for? Nobody knows.
This year, next year, probably.
But if they win one this year, will he play another year? Or will he ride off in the sunset? Who knows if they'll win one this year? But I would assume that there's something that could go on there. Chase Claypool is a guy that he can go and get it. Matthew Stafford could take advantage of. If they bring back Juju, they got a slot wide receiver there. You got a lot of talent in that wide receiver room. And in the backfield, James Conner potentially going to be gone. Who knows? But that is a offense that has a defense that Matthews and an organization that wins, it feels like. That feels like that would be a type of city that Matthew Stafford would love too. Old grit, Rust Belt City.
We all can agree, though, it does feel like Stafford will not be a Lions quarterback for much longer.
I don't know.
I think he will.
Who knows? Because he never talks.
Yeah, I mean,
he does.
He never ever talks.
This is on him for not trying to get out.
But I think if he, in his eyes, if he was trying to get out, he'd be a bad guy. Like
I think we would understand.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I think like Matthew Stafford isn't that type. He's quiet. Like I think he just wants to do. He doesn't talk to the media much. I think we met him at a wedding one time. We got a chance to talk to him.
Yeah.
Awesome guy.
Very, very nice.
Awesome guy, but I would have never known because he never talks and never does anything.
That's why Detroit loves him so much, though, because he's so loyal to the city. He's been there over a decade. He doesn't complain. He doesn't bitch. He has no weapons. It's just like...
Well, maybe it's time to.
Yeah, maybe that's part of the problem.
What, is that he doesn't complain?
Yeah.
What's that comedian, Gary... not Gary.
V?
The guy that was in the Joker movie?
Joaquin Phoenix?
Who?
Gary Goldman.
Gary Goldman. Gary Goldman, his mind, by the way, is incredible. If you ever get a chance to listen to some of his stuff, you'll be like very intrigued by it, I do believe. He said that the reason why technology has advanced so quickly, basically, is because the previous regimes or generations of us weren't complainers. You know, like the phone being in the corner in the kitchen where you only have a certain amount of things and you got to do the thing. Like people are just like, yeah, this is what it is. Like then the generation was like, oh, there has to be a better way. And then that like kind of created ingenuity. Like, okay, we can do this, we can do this. Like computer being the size of an entire room and not being able to do anything. There's generations that were just like, yeah, like this is what it is. Yeah, no big deal. And then there's somebody came in and was like, we're fucking sick of it. It was like a really good idea. Maybe we're at this stage where Matthew Stafford needs to become that generation.
Like, there's a way to complain without actually complaining, right? You played with Peyton Manning. He was a guy that, like, if he didn't have the help around him that he needed, he was going to be made it known. And I don't think anyone called him a complainer for that. I think it was like, oh, he's trying to make the team better.
Yeah, but Peyton, I believe, and Matthew Stafford, two very different humans.
Yeah, true.
If he was to do this now at this stage, I don't think anybody would. By the way, I think everybody would agree with him doing it. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's the type of dude he is, which. If you're not that dude, I guess you have to have somebody who is the bad guy for you to do it.
Yeah.
Which is what happened in the Lev Bell situation.
I mean,
what's that?
Look, we can talk about.
Oh, come on.
We can talk about Stafford. When you said it, though, it's the goddamn organization. Sell the team, move the goddamn team somewhere else, give it to Bezos, and get the hell out of Detroit. I'm sorry, but they will never win there. It's not going to happen, and they need a change of scenery. This guy back here said, yeah, I'll be a Steelers fan.
This is the problem.
He's following Stafford. He's not sticking with the Lions, goddammit.
This is the problem with Connor.
And get the hell out of Detroit.
Okay. All right, listen, that's pretty bombshell revelation that we have there. And it's I did not know that you felt that way about Detroit. But yesterday we talked at depth about the American Lion. Okay.
Yeah.
And there are some mountain states that I think have great fans that actually have American Lions in their state.
One of the Dakotas.
Can't listen to Connor. Connor's jaded. He's a Patriots fan. He's
South Dakota.
His whole
Lions.
life.
How about that?
Put him in Sioux.
Where was the best
play on
college game
Thanksgiving
day,
every day because we're Detroit and we're owned by the Ford
Is he
family.
still talking?
You cannot afford that.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, did nothing. He's talking about nothing.
They got no internet.
They got no internet up there.
Gonna have some bad
The organization is cursed.
Sell the damn team.
One of the greatest sports cities in America.
Well,
No, we agree. We agree.
Yes.
Listen, we agree. We like the fans in Detroit. We're just talking about, what about the NFL, dude? What about the league?
The Shield.
What about the Shield, bro?
Yeah.
I do not agree completely with Connor, but I do believe in the next 20 minutes I could be convinced.
Nah, you can't listen to him. He's a Patriots fan. He's been jaded his whole life.
No, I disagree on that. I think he has celebrated the NFL his whole life because all he's had is good experiences with it. And I think although he does say a lot of very, very, very dumb things, I think this particular one is one that we should potentially take a little peek-see.
Yeah, we probably
Thank you.
I think we should take a little peek-see.
So I put the P on the jacket today. Take a peek-see.
That's what that was. I was wondering.
We were talking about it. We were talking
Take
about
a
it.
peek-see.
All right. The American Lion is no joke. We have a listener, by the way, we have numerous listeners in Africa, by the way. So we do learn that from the downloads. Had a listener from Africa tweet me that we need to stop talking about that little bitch-ass American Lion you guys. Did we just set up an American Lion, African Lion beef? I wonder. We do not want to do that, by the way. We want to unify. But we just want to say, after watching an American Lion basically toy with an adult.
Just a little respect.
On the internet, we had no idea that they were that big, intimidating, athletic, agile. Yeah. Because we do not come from places that have them. That son-bitch was a killer. And I did not know. I've seen a lot of Planet Earth. Okay, I've taken a lot of vitamins. I've National Geographic when I was a kid. You get it. I did not know we had that in our country.
Yeah. Me either.
That son-bitch is wild. And if we do move the lions, I think it should go to a place where said lion potentially lives.
Bravo,
Hour
Utah.
2 wrapping up right now. AJ Hawks on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
Week 5 is officially in the past, so let's get some nukes to get us ready for Week 6. Now we know weeks 1 through 3, the over was 29 and 19. But weeks 4 and 5, the over only hit 13 out of 29 games. There is still one over trend that is going strong though. First half overs in week 5 were 10 and 4. And on the year, they're now 50, 25, and 2. Let's go to prime time. Primetime favorites were 0-4 against the spread in week 5. And on the year, they're 5 and 12. We'll be back tomorrow with a new hammer. Dad! More stats, more info, and a full week 6 preview. Cheers.
Well, hello, sensual piano keys. You sound incredibly inspirational and motivational. Big announcement coming from our company. You know, throughout my entire life, I've made decisions that people have said, "Ooh, that is stupid." You've read about them, you heard about them. When I was in high school, I went to an underground poker game, won $1,400, flew myself down to Miami, won a kicking contest, and got a scholarship to West Virginia the next day. I turned my back on soccer that day. Everybody said, "You're an idiot. Why are you doing that? You have more schools looking at you for soccer than you do for football. What are you thinking?" Fast forward 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and I was on top of the world, top of the mountain. How's the view? Not too shabby. And when I was at the top of my game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pursue some other stuff. My friends and I are going to go to work on the internet. We're going to try to chase fulfillment as opposed to just a paycheck. And there were some interesting responses from people of power in the sporting world.
Make them tear the uniform off of you. Sure. Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
Oh no, there's no intervention, Wilbon. No, no, no. Here we are 3 years after that date, and it's a celebration, bitches. Cut the music. Let's hand out some bags to the boys. For the boys. For the boys.
By the way, that's for you, brother. Oh my God.
Are you home? All right, come out the front door.
What's up, dude?
What is this?
What's this?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck?
Fuck you. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. That is the bag of money.
FanDuel deal went through. There's $50,000 in there for you.
Here's a backpack with $50,000 in it. Oh, $50,000 in it. Oh my God. Yeah, so there's $50,000 in there. Yeah, so there's $50,000.
Are you fucking serious?
Let's go.
Did you rob a bank?
Oh man.
Let's go, dude.
Let's go. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yo, this is.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dude. We did it. Couldn't have done it without you. Oh, thank you.
Dude, it's a fuck ton of money. You guys.
When I asked Dan Patrick for some advice, he told me always take care of the boys.
Well, and you should know those people that are there with you, that their value cannot be overstated and should not be overstated.
So Mike Wilbon, they didn't hold my jersey on me. They didn't hold my helmet on me. We didn't have an intervention. What we have is a celebration. Because when you bet on yourself, sometimes you hit for big. And for us, the only place we'll bet for the next couple years in an exclusive deal, FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up to our office, and we have never been more thankful, more excited, and more together as we promote the greatest sports book on planet Earth.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome back. Pat McAfee Show, Hour 3, McAfee and Hawk on this Thursday, October 15th, 2020. Boom. Joining us now is a Super Bowl champion and a national champion and a man who calls big-time college football on the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, out of Dayton, Centerville, Ohio, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. AJ Hawk.
What's up, fellas? I'm excited for Darren Waller. This dude's an absolute stud.
He is an absolute animal, and I guess he was on a practice squad, and then he was basically signed and told, like, hey, you're the guy now, and then his entire sobriety. I mean, I'm pretty pumped for the conversation we're about to have with old Darren Waller.
Yeah, so am I. I don't know what it looks like going out to people, but it's super zoomed in on my side.
Yeah, I mean, you might be a little bit zoomed in, but you look very normal. You actually, and by the way, you have as we've talked about on plenty of occasion, you have that home plate like jawline. He's safe, and it just looks very, very good. You know what I mean? So don't you worry about how you look, AJ. You look fantastic. Before we get to Darren Waller, I know you're a big mixed martial arts guy. Conor McGregor said him and Dustin Poirier should fight down there in Jerry World because that's the only stadium that's big enough to hold the amount of people that he has. And then he's planning, basically he announced that he's fighting Poirier because he's a southpaw, I guess, which is in preparation to box against Manny Pacquiao, which is his next fight. And it sounds like the way he's tweeting about this is he just wants to be known as like this mixed martial art, like guru, like expert. He's like, I'm just staying sharp, basically. Like, he's doing these fights not for business. Like, this isn't, this is just me to stay sharp, basically, at this point. Good for him. I'm pumped for it. And hopefully Jerry Jones will be able to make that happen. But who knows with, COVID-19, whether or not this will be possible ever.
Well, who knows if Dana White's going to agree to it either. I know there's back and forth between Connor and Dana, too.
Hey, Connor, when he gets that hand out like this and starts doing this, and then, by the way, boxing can't do that. You have to be, he said it's two very different styles, and it's very difficult, he actually said during the tweet. It's very difficult to do both, but I'm kind of doing both right now. Just want to let everybody know that's what I'm doing. I love the confidence. I love the business style. Hopefully it all happens. In Jerry World, I have performed down there. We sold it out, obviously. Indianapolis Colts sold that place out whenever I was on the team. Place is gorgeous. It would be awesome. I don't know how many, would they have 160,000 people then if you were able to put people on the field. That would be massive. And I would assume Dana White would be okay with that. Yeah. I don't know if that's how many tickets it would sell. Let's pivot back to the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who went to the Georgia Tech. This is a man who popped up on the scene this year in a massive fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders, Darren Waller. Attaboy, Darren. How you doing, bub?
I'm doing good, man. How y'all doing?
Oh, great voice. Jeez. I mean, that's unbelievable. Good for you. And before we even talk about football, we'll just dive right into the little note I have here. You produce music in your spare time? Is that your hobby? You produce music, and do you sing as well with that voice you have there?
Yeah, I produce, I record. I just got done recording a song myself, so.
Ooh, what's the name of it? Can we get a sneak peek of it, or we have to wait until it's officially released?
The song's called "Came Back." It's like a song about like a comeback story.
Which is your story, basically, right? I mean, you're very much a comeback story at this point. And we learned a little bit about it on, I believe, Monday Night Football when they were talking about it there. If you could walk some people who maybe haven't heard it yet, we're talking to Darren Waller here, tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders. You were on a practice squad somewhere, and then John Gruden basically said, hey, you're going to be our guy. Is that the entire story, or how did it come to be for you to be a Las Vegas Raider and come out of nowhere, really?
Yeah, long story short, I got drafted to the Ravens in 2015, and I was getting suspended a lot and in and out of the league. And when I got reinstated by the Ravens in 2018, they cut me and put me on the practice squad. And so I was there till about Thanksgiving of that year. And then the Raiders saw me warming up before the game when the Raiders played the Ravens, and then they claimed me the next day.
Who is that? Listen, I was out here running the stairs early because coaches will run the stairs before the stadium or before the game, and sometimes there's practice squad working out. I just like to think of Gruden running the stairs going down the steps, or Mayock and just being like, all right, listen, what the fuck is that thing right over there? Let's go ahead and get that. And next day picking you up. That's a great comeback story. AJ, what do you got, boss?
Yeah, Darren, you mentioned your story a little bit, and you said you were suspended a few times. Was there ever a moment when you thought, hey, this is it? Like, I'm not going to play in the NFL again?
Yeah, definitely. I basically sabotaged my way out of the league. I didn't want to be there anymore. And then when I was out of the league for like the first 6 months of my suspension, I didn't even want to go back. I have a trainer, shout out to Quay Mack. He was on me about, giving it another shot, but I wasn't really hearing it. I couldn't make it through the workouts. But about halfway through that suspension, I felt a new desire to play football and just kind of ran with it.
Shout out Quay Mack for sure. What was the reason why you didn't want to be in the NFL anymore? I had that similar experience whenever I got arrested for an alleged event. I was definitely drunk. What they said I did, I mean, to be determined still to this, the case is out on it. But during my suspension, and when I came back, I almost felt like jaded towards the league. Like I felt like I was like, these people don't even like me here. And I shouldn't have felt that way because I put myself in that position. But a lot of people, my close friends, when I was talking about them, I was like, I don't even want to do this anymore. I'd rather do something else. And they're like, you're an idiot. This is the NFL. What was it for you that you felt against the NFL or football in general that made you want to say, you know what, I don't even want to get back into this thing after a suspension or two?
Yeah, football for me, basically, it just became a tool to impress other people, to get validation from men around me, to get validation from women, just people in general, just because I didn't feel like I was enough for some reason. And so football became that, and just the weight of that going from high school to college to the NFL, and that pressure just multiplies every level you go to. And I just couldn't take it anymore, and it was just like I couldn't cope with anything without, being as high as I possibly could or as drunk as possible. So that's when it was like, I can't do this anymore. I could feel like death coming.
Damn. Hey, that's some real stuff right there. Yeah, AJ, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what changed to where now, like you've gotten to where you are now?
Yeah, I went to rehab, and that was kind of like the game changer for me. And it basically gave me a chance to, get in touch with who I really was, what I really valued, things that I really enjoy, like music, like, just things that just are me, and I don't have to gain any outside approval for that. And then once I could really love myself and respect myself, I was able to look at the game like I did when I was like 5, 6 years old and just be like, I enjoy the competitive aspect and just playing. So I had to get my mind there. I had to, take steps away from football and just focus on the person. And then once I could get the person right, I could go and play football and not have to worry about what everybody else thought.
Did you feel like you had to prove to people that you weren't just a football player too? Like you were sick of just being labeled just a football player? Like this guy is just a football player, which happens, by the way, when you get to the NFL, everybody's like, oh, that person's good at football. And you're like, well, I'm a lot more than that too. Do you think you were potentially fighting that as well?
Yeah, but I try to see it now more as, to give a more human aspect to players because they see us and they expect us to be perfect and superheroes when we're really human beings that deal with a whole bunch of stuff. And but we have things that we like outside of football because we're human beings. It's a great game, but at the end of the day, it's work as well. When we step away, we have other passions that we enjoy, and I just want to let people know that we have every right to pursue those like everyone else does.
Hey, what's it like being around John Gruden and Mayock being the GM? They seem like a bunch of, or two just meatheads that absolutely live for football.
Legit.
And you guys are playing well, so they seem to be very excited right now. Like, what is it day to day with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, the way you described it is perfect. They just eat, sleep, and breathe football, man. They're just, psychos about it. And Gruden, just that energy is always there. He always keeps you on your toes every day. Mayock is, foaming at the mouth about football and always making decisions and evaluating people, and you can tell he's always locked in. So it's amazing to be around them. We can feed off their energy, and they can feed off of ours as well.
Have you ever not knocked when he says, knock on wood if you're with me?
What was the question?
I'm guilty of not knocking.
Oh! Hey, buy in, Darren. Why don't you fucking buy in? Unbelievable.
You get daydreaming sometimes.
You exploded on the scene, and I don't want to say that. Did you feel a sense of like validation for the decision you made to come back to football whenever you start having these massive games and you become a focal point on an offense?
It felt like all along, like everything that I went through was for a reason. Like I was supposed to be playing the game. Like no matter how much I sabotaged it or said I wanted to be away from the game of football, like I felt like this is where I'm supposed to be, and I somehow made it back here against all the odds. And it does feel great. It's just good to enjoy life and to look in the mirror and respect the way that I'm living and trying to handle business and just trying to be there for my teammates.
Hey, knock on wood if you're with him, man. AJ didn't knock, Darren.
Wow.
AJ didn't knock.
I knocked.
Okay, well, AJ didn't. I just want to let you know that.
It's a fake wood table I'm sitting at. But Darren, I actually watched you were mic'd up. Was it last game or the one before?
It was the game this past Sunday.
Yeah, okay, so you were mic'd up. I watched that. And then I've also watched Hunter Renfrow, who is another amazing character on your team. You guys are both mic'd up. I'm watching it. And it seems like you guys may be two of the most positive NFL players I've ever been around. Is it like that every game? Like you guys are so juiced, just pumping everybody up the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, I try to keep it that way. It's such a long game, and with all the pressure that we have on us, it's so easy to get super high when you have a good play or get down on yourself when you have a bad play. So I just try to bring a little light to it, and you can't really be the best player that you can be if you're not having fun, in a sense, if you're not having a good time, because if it's just like bogging you down and you're just out there trying to make it through, then it's not going to be fun. You're not going to be playing to the best of your ability. So we try to bring that energy.
What was your 40? What do you run?
I ran 4.46.
And that was back when you hated football?
Yes.
Are you in better shape now than you were then? Because a lot of the conversation around you that first game when you exploded, he was like, he's also faster than you. So not only is he bigger, not only can he run great routes, he's also faster than everybody, which isn't always normal for the tight end position. Do you feel like you're in your best shape you've ever been?
Absolutely.
Really?
Just from taking care of my body better, eating better. Back then I was fast food, fried food every day. Not going to treatment, not taking care of my legs, not taking care of anything. So I feel like now it's definitely the best shape I've ever been in.
How old are you, Darren?
I just turned 28.
Oh, happy birthday, man, by the way.
Happy birthday,
Darren. We're happy for you. You still got a lot of years left in this thing. Now, forgive me for asking this question, but Las Vegas probably isn't like the best place for somebody who has turned their life around, or is it the best place to be for somebody to turn their life? Like, did you even have a thought about that, about like how Las Vegas could potentially be a problem? Because I think there's a lot of, right now, NFL teams are trying to figure out how, whenever their team visits in there, aside from quarantine, how we keep everybody locked down. The Vegas flu happened in the NHL for the Golden Knights, like the first 6 months of their existence. Did you ever think about that from a personal standpoint, making Las Vegas home, and how you'd be able to handle that, and how have you handled that?
Yeah, I've been able to see it from both sides. Like, at first I knew, like, if I'm not on my P's and Q's as far as my daily routine and working my program, then Vegas could be a place that could be trouble for me. But it's motivated me to, stay on top of things. I know that people are looking to me for inspiration in a way, so I use that as fuel too. But it's been great living here. I live in the Henderson community, and it's super nice. A lot of great restaurants, Target and Sprouts are right across the street. Like, it's a cool neighborhood, man. So I feel safe here. I feel welcome here.
Oh, good for you, Darren. That's awesome. What do you got, AJ?
Hey, any of your coaches, I know you're still young. I mean, you're only 28, but are you kind of in that mentor role? Like, do you have do coaches bring young players to you that may be going through some stuff and talk to you?
Yeah, there have been guys that have, like, we've signed or considered that, I've had some instances off of the field like me, and they kind of see me getting over to the other side, and they say if I ever have anything to share with them, to just give them some hope, give them some encouragement as to what things could be for them. And it doesn't always have to be anxiety of your own decision making. You can overcome that. So I try to share that with young guys whenever possible.
How do you feel about that Raiders team? You guys are winning games, man, and I think nobody really talks about the Raiders, especially because in the AFC so much had happened in the offseason and the Chiefs are still there. But your team is very, very good right now. That has to feel good. And what is Carr like on a day-to-day? Because all you ever hear about Carr is that Gruden hates him. That's all you ever hear. And then you see him on primetime TV. He had the nicest cleats I've seen. I think he had black Jordans with the white underneath of it. That's what I see. What is it like in there? And you guys have a damn good team. Why is that?
Yeah, I just feel like there's talent on both sides of the ball, talent in the kicking game. Just a lot of young guys asserting themselves on both sides, free agent veterans as well. So, I mean, I love our team right now. I love Henry coming back. Can't wait to get Brian back out there. We got Big Trent out there now. But Derek is taking over. He's playing as efficient as he's ever played. He's super confident right now. Great command in the huddle. Hangs out with all the guys on the team. Isn't, just hanging out with guys that he likes. He's always talking to everyone in the building. So that kind of stuff I feel like carries over. And just the way that he prepares is unbelievable, and you can see it.
Oh, yeah, you guys hang out. You guys weren't wearing masks at that thing. That's unbelievable.
Oh, no.
I heard about that. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, isn't the place where you had your charity event, aren't they getting fined?
Yeah, they've gotten hit a couple times now, I think.
Ooh, jeez. Hey, what is life like? Because you're doing a charity event, giving back to the world, making the world a better place, and then somehow that was spun into you're a terrible guy. Like what you're doing with the mask thing right now. I've heard that there's a mask force that walks through the building. It's like 3 people walking through with a notepad, basically making sure people are on it. You have to have the mask above nose, below jaw at all points. You can't be you have to come in. Is it just insane? And do you see it being able to be duplicated and replicated for the last, 11, 12 weeks of this season? Because we're starting to see little outbreaks in places. Do you think that'll continue, or do you think everybody will be able to tighten down? And is it even possible to adhere to the protocols that they have on a day-to-day basis?
First off, everything that you said was correct. There are masked police walking around the building at all times, making sure you have a mask on. You got to wear a mask while you're lifting weights. You got to wear a mask during walkthrough. So it is tough. They've got these different breakout meeting rooms, and we can't eat with each other. You can only have one person per table while you eat. So it's a lot of stuff, and it keeps from, those little bonding moments that you have during the day where you do get some downtime, and you can't be in the locker room longer than 15 minutes. So they're making it tough on us, and it's going to be tough to uphold. But I mean, we really don't have any other choice. The guys are still trying to play the games, trying to get paid. So we're going to do it to the best of our ability.
It's going to take all of us, man. It's going to take all of us.
Hey, Darren, last thing for me at least. Do you guys talk to your head coach at all about his choice of mask that he wore, especially early in the season? Like that guy, I don't even know what he's wearing. You guys get mess with him about it?
that is his own decision. He gonna come out there with a cut off T-shirt sleeve all around his face. I don't know, man, but I love Gru.
Hey, everybody knows he's worth $100 million. Does he? What is he like? Is he a hard ass? Is he cool? Is he funny? Because when I'm watching Hard Knocks, it was not what I expected out of John Gruden at all. He had like little jokes with people. He had this, he had that. I thought he would be like a hard ass, but it seems like he is exactly what he's like on Monday Night Football, which is incredibly intelligent, informative, insightful, and hilarious. It feels like. Is that what he is like as a coach as well?
Yeah, it's all the same. There's no TV gimmick or anything like that. It's all the same energy. He'll be a hard ass, but it's only when it's like complete lack of effort or things that would piss anyone off. He'll get mad about those, but it's always positive energy. It's always jokes. It's always encouragement. I love being around him.
He probably gets very upset when you don't knock on wood. So why don't you think about that, Darren? Stop fucking around. What do you got, Diggs?
Darren, can you remember a point or a game where, because you were unknown and then you came out of nowhere and then you had defenses having their game plan prepared for you and then you kind of had to change how you approach the game?
It started pretty early last season. Within the first couple weeks, honestly, I could see cloud coverage if I went outside or I was by myself, in brackets if I'm, at a normal number 3 wide receiver spot. So it started off pretty early within like the first 4 games. After that Minnesota game last year, people were really like, okay, like this guy's the most targeted guy. So we're locking in on him now. And so it's crazy to have that like within 5 games of being a starter, but it started pretty early.
It's quite a compliment, though. I mean, that has to feel pretty good. Nobody ever double-teamed me. What do you got, Connor?
Darren, the Raiders drafted Henry Ruggs III, not the second in the first round this year. What has he brought to the team, and is he one of the fastest guys you've ever played with?
He is definitely one of the fastest guys I've ever played with. I might even put him above Mike Wallace already.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, it's close, but I mean, I don't know, man. I'll take my boy Henry.
You guys have a completely different offense when he's in there. This past weekend, whenever he was in there, I mean, the shots that Derek Carr can hit, which is good for everybody else on the offense, but you guys are a completely different team whenever he's on the field. And you could see, like, why Mike Mayock and Gruden were like, if we had this piece here, this could potentially help us out a lot in this thing. It's like a smart draft choice, I think. He probably could have went somewhere else, too, that could need weapons, but they chose not to. Ty, you have any questions? Ty Schmidt, you have any questions? Green Bay Packers fan, do you have any questions for Dan?
Yeah, I do. Darren, obviously it's probably too early to tell with fans not having been there yet, but do you think that new stadium is actually like an atmosphere that could give you guys like a legitimate home field advantage?
Yeah, once people get there, that's going to be hectic. Like, no doubt about it. Like, it's an incredible stadium. The way that it's set up, I mean, I feel like that's going to be like a weapon for us.
It's so large. It is so large, that place. I mean, good for you guys to get to break it in. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us from his studio. Oh, by the way, so we get no taste of what that comeback song was at all right now?
I mean, I'll tell you, it's about a comeback story.
You said that, though. Do you release it? How do we know whenever this song is released, or is this just for you internally?
I'll definitely be releasing this song for sure.
Ooh. Where at SoundCloud? Are you a SoundCloud guy? Where do we find this?
So I have 2 albums out right now. The most recent one was out last September. Okay. It's called Wall Street. It's on all streaming platforms.
Wow.
Artist name's D-Wall.
D-Wall? Okay.
D-Wall.
Is it country? It's country music?
No, it's rap music, but it's singing on there. There's everything that you're looking for.
Do you need a whistler in the background for a song that could potentially win a Grammy? Because I am looking to become a Grammy-nominated whistler.
Yeah, we can make that work.
Yes. All right, we'll reach out to D-Wall. Hey, we'll reach out to D-Wall's people. We appreciate you so much. Tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders. Incredible comeback story, which is a song that you will see on all streaming platforms soon. Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Waller. Thank you. Thank you, D-Wall. Have a good one. All right. See, now we don't know if we can play the song because we don't know if he signed to a label or not. That was a question we should have asked. Yesterday we played a song by a guy that sent the song in to us because we asked for because we're on YouTube, so we can't play people's songs because we'll get a strike and they'll take down our entire business, basically. And that's what a lot of music labels do. So we asked for people to send independent songs to stuff4theshow at patmcafeeshow.com. We got an incredible song from a guy named Colin Henry. It was called Motivation.
Good song.
He's trying to take down our whole YouTube page.
Good.
Playing it.
Struck the thing down.
Oh my God! It's like, yo, Colin Henry trying to kill us over here, bub. We're just trying to. By the way, song is a heater, but it's not worth our company.
Not
for
anymore.
sure.
It looks like we know his real motivation.
All right, AJ, we have to get to a break here. On the other side, I want to ask you about Le'Veon Bell. I want to talk to you about Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys future potentially. I want to talk to you about some games this weekend and power rankings. There's a lot to talk about, AJ. I cannot wait to chat with you and the boys on the other side.
Sounds good. Power rankings are my thing, so I cannot wait to dive in.
You know who's number one?
No, who is it?
Don't spoil it. Great tease.
Yep,
AJ
good
Hawk.
tease.
Great
Nice
tease.
job.
It's Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, October 15th, 2020. We're back on the other side. Go to the bathroom. Big show on the other side. We're talking Paramount production out of the Pat McAfee studios on the other side. This is Pat McAfee Show. There's a grown man with face paint on. So you're Big Nut.
I am, and you're Little Nut.
Well, I've had a few of those in my life. Hey, I'll tell you what, Big Nut. I hope to find you one day on my wedding night. Big Nut!
Little Nut.
You did a great job, too. The lines are straight. No DUI problem there. You're really doing a great job here, sir. Hey, Big Nut, I love everything you're about, bud.
Because we are going to win the game.
He just spit in my mouth while saying that.
The most likely team to make the college football playoff is the team that is in Columbus.
He said khakis are way too close to that team from up north. If you don't put black pants on right now, you're going to get booed out of Columbus. So I went with the black. Makes me look thin. And whenever I say two letters, the place goes crazy. OH!
Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie George. That offense, though, led by Justin Fields. He has 41 touchdowns accounted for, only one turnover. I don't know how he isn't the Heisman favorite right now.
Well, he certainly has a chance to make a stick at that today, certainly next week.
He's supposed to be in Penn State native line. And Mike McQuarrie told me I wasn't Penn State material. Okay, Herbie was your quarterback. He was a senior. You were a freshman. What was he like as a teammate?
Oh, he was great, man. Big shoulder pads. Kurt could run for days back in the day.
We have a guy that can break every single bone in my body. Steve, how you doing, boss man? They're down 6-1. She wants to flex on the gram. He says, lady, we are getting slaughtered by the Pittsburgh Penguins. No.
Do I do it too? I thought I need to do this.
Look, I don't understand the whole legal gambling thing. I've been gambling illegally my whole life. I don't get what you mean by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Dude, illegal gambling is done. It stinks. Legal gambling is the greatest thing of all time. FanDuel Sportsbook has so many good bets. They even refund bets that they think didn't deserve to lose. They got all the spreads. They got same game parlays. You have to start gambling on FanDuel Sportsbook if you're in a legal state.
And that's not the only thing. They make it so easy to withdraw and deposit money. You can just link your bank, deposit whatever you want, withdraw whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yes,
I mean, this
please.
truly is the greatest sports gambling app out there.
He's right about the banking. It is the greatest, but you really don't understand the bets that this sports book has. They have in-game bets. They have in-game parlays, and he said it, but I'm going to say it again. The odds at this place are the best, and once you download FanDuel Sportsbook, we are going to take all of their money. All of their money. Right? 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 FanDuel! 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 FanDuel!
McAfee Show.
Welcome back to that show. It is Thursday, October 15th. Here on Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Home of JT the Brick. One of the homes, JT the Brick. Just got done talking to Oakland Raider Darren Waller. That was a cool conversation, AJ. We just had a really cool conversation with him.
He was awesome. I mean, they moved to Las Vegas, but yes, he was great.
Yeah, Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah. JT the Brick's been covering the Raiders since they were in Oakland. So that's on me, 100% on me, whatever the case. I apologize. JT the Brick can be found on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Legend in the sports talk world. The conversation with Darren Waller, I think we got some real answers out of him there. And we listened to his rap song during the commercial break, or his rap songs. Hey, he goes hard.
Legit.
That comeback song, I assume, will be a great song to work out with. I can't wait for him to release it. Didn't play any of it on the show, but can't wait to hear it, AJ.
Yeah, hey, do you think, is there ever going to be an athlete, or has there been an athlete that put out some kind of music, no matter what the genre, that actually crossed over and became a legit, musical star?
Can't
we have anybody?
Be moved, can't be moved, can't be hung. We hot, when will you learn? Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr., I believe.
Was that Roy?
Yeah.
Y'all must have forgot. That's Roy. Roy said y'all must have forgot.
Yeah, so I think Roy Jones Jr. had a banger there that people listened to. That thing won. Antonio Brown.
Whole lot of money.
Whole lot of money. Home from the NO.
I just got back from the NO.
Home from the NO.
Didn't Pacquiao have a good album?
Who?
Manny Pacquiao?
I believe Pacquiao did put out some songs. I believe. Shaq put out a lot. Kobe put some out.
Isn't there a country? There's a country singer, right, that played quarterback somewhere?
Yeah, Hunter Smith, punter for the Colts. He is currently a country musician, I believe.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I believe he
Nelly?
is.
There's like a legit big-time country musician that played, I don't know if he's a starting quarterback, but he played quarterback somewhere.
Nelly was a professional running back.
Bronson Arroyo.
Bronson Arroyo is
got music?
He is a great guitar player.
Is he?
Yeah.
Stud.
Yeah, it just feels like no real athlete has really cracked the code to get to the Grammy yet, but at some point somebody will.
Oh, people are saying Lame Dollar.
Yeah, Dame Dollar.
I don't know who that is. Anyways, let's get to a phone call here. Let's go to Tyler. By the way, probably great. Dame Dollar. Is that Dame Dollar?
Yeah.
Oh, he's very good, actually.
Damian Lillard, yeah.
You said Lame Dollar.
That's on me. I was reading a comment.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to do what you just did right there. He will bury you. And you do not want to be on the, I do like Dame Dollar, I will say.
And of course, Lev Bell. I mean,
Lev Bell, he's a target.
Yeah,
he's also a musician.
Bad at it, yeah.
Shaq.
Cole Beasley.
Yeah, Cole Beasley has bars for days, actually. I do forget. I do forgot about
Josh McCown.
Justin Tucker is like an opera singer.
I mean, let's not forget that you were number one on the charts.
I mean,
you're forgetting the best one yet.
That is very. Did any of them end up number one on an iTunes chart for 48 hours?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. That is a real question. So I might have been the most successful musician athlete ever. I'm not 100%
You
sure.
forgot friend of the show, by the way, John Daly.
Oh.
Hit him home.
John Daly, probably most successful. That is not what this song sounds like at all. Let's go to Tyler in Charlotte. What's going on, Tyler? What, is he a basketball player? Because in West Philadelphia? What are you saying Will Smith for?
What are you doing?
Well, I mean, he was also a caddy.
Is Tyler? Tyler, you on the show, Tyler?
Get to your point.
Are you talking about Hitch?
Yeah,
No.
I'm sorry. I'm here.
Bagger Vance.
Yeah, but you're talking about his movie characters. I get it. We could do that all day. We could do that
Some of
all
them are
damn
based
day.
on real life.
What's going on, Tyler?
Shame on you, dude.
All right, so just wanted to talk to you guys. You guys filled a hole in my heart that I didn't know existed back when this little coronavirus thing happened. When you got into the AFL, I got into the AFL. The grand final is coming up here in just a few days. And unfortunately, Pat, for you and I, Mason Cox and Steele Sidebottom and our Magpies got absolutely demolished yesterday, so they are out.
Did we?
But
we got demolished.
we do have Brisbane versus Geelong playing, and then we also got Port Adelaide, and then we got AJ Hawk bandwagon jumping Richmond Tigers. They're still in it as well.
Wow.
The Cats are still.
AFL still been over there playing. They got those fair dingham stadiums full of people. So I just want to know, have you still been keeping up with it? And who do you think is going to end up in the grand final?
Tyler, great question over there. Okay, that was a great question. And you're right. We did get on a hell of a run there with the AFL, Aussie Rules Football. It is a league that is electrifying. It is a sport that is awesome, mesmerizing, some would say, because it's just a nonstop action. There's a lot of punts, there's a lot of big hits, and it's coming to you at a time that is damn near impossible to watch the games. Okay, that's the only downfall that is happening with said sport and league, which is the ball that I'm holding in my hand right now, the Sharon. Also, a lot of the punters you see in the NFL from Australia come from this sport. Everybody said it was rugby. It's rugby. It's rugby. Very different sport. Very different thing. Aussie rules football captivated this office for about a month, I think, month and a half.
Yeah, still love it.
But then the timing of the games, it became impossible to watch, and other sports started taking precedent. So we apologize for not keeping up with it as close. I do know that 6'10" Mason Cox, the Coxzilla for the Collingwood Magpies, the only American in the history of the league to have success and be actually good, started out a little cold, but then he got hot here towards the end. They lose. AJ, you picked 4 different teams that were your favorite teams there in that one 1 week segment there. Your team's still in it, the Richmond Tigers. Have you watched an AFL game ever in your life, even including whenever we were talking about it?
I haven't watched one in the last probably 3 weeks, but before that, yes, I was reading message boards, talking with fans, and I felt like Richmond was the team to get behind.
That was like
that is such a fucking lie. That was 3 months ago. That wasn't 3 weeks ago.
That's when I jumped on board. That I said it's been 3 weeks since I've watched a full game, start to finish.
Oh, okay. Because you are up at the times, by the way. AJ Hawk would be the guy. Him, Mark Wahlberg, The Rock. They're up at the time when these games are on 4 a.m. or whatever. And it is captivating. It is. But Diggs, your Geelong Cats still in this thing. I think you guys are the ones that beat the hell out of us and knocked us out.
Yes, semifinals tomorrow and Saturday, 4:50 a.m. and 4:40 a.m. It's tough, but I watched one a few weeks ago. I was up with a tummy ache, so that was nice. It was nice to fall back to sleep too. What's up?
Do you think you should have given us a heads up that you had a tummy ache?
Whoa.
What do you mean?
Well, just like Odell Beckham Jr. was sick at
send him home.
Sick at work at the Browns, they sent him his ass
Well, he
home.
heard about my tummy ache and he called me over his house. So.
Oh, okay. And now you're spreading your tummy ache over to the Cleveland Browns or
All over
whatever.
his chest.
Hey, AJ, I don't know if this is how it was in Green Bay. And the last time I said this on the show, you followed up with, you can never miss a game because you feel sick or something like that. It's basically, if you're going to play football, something that's happening inside your nose or your head or your body, like that is nothing in comparison to what's going to happen outside your body. You don't miss. That's not what you miss a game for. They sent Odell Beckham Jr. home, right? It was Odell?
Yep.
They sent Odell Beckham Jr. home in the middle of the day, and Kevin Stefanski said, with the COVID protocols and everything like that, we just felt like it was the right decision to send him home. In my eyes, I got sent home like 7 years ago whenever I had the flu and it was coming out of the basement and the attic. They're like, go home, don't be around anybody because how quick this thing can spread. Do you think there's a chance that they think he has
Oh.
Don't say. No.
the COVID?
Oh my God. I don't think so, because I think they have to be so worried about like the possible look of what, like, would you say if, let's say they think he has COVID and they just sent him home and they didn't say it's COVID related. Don't you think they would they would have huge trouble from the league if it came out that they thought he may have had it?
If the quote that I read from the tweet that was reported that he said something, he did mention the COVID protocols in the statement, unless the reporter that wrote the tweet that I read added that on as like their own little remix, like, hey, this is what we're doing here. I think he did potentially say to be super safe with these COVID protocols or whatever, we sent him home. If he has feelings of a flu, I don't know. This is very interesting. And Odell Beckham Jr., by the way, just wants to win football games, turn the whole thing around. They got to go to Pittsburgh this weekend. They have not beat the Steelers in 16 attempts in Pittsburgh. And this is a big game. Everybody thinks this is potentially the chance for the Browns to get a big dub out there. Odell Beckham Jr. is becoming a bigger and bigger piece of that offense.
Yeah, he is. I wouldn't be too worried about this. It's Thursday. Odell doesn't need to practice. So yeah, maybe he came in, he didn't feel great. They said, go home, rest up. And that's not like you said, you were sent home 7 years ago. I saw guys get sent home before. They come in the morning, they look awful. Some guys really are that sick. Some guys are faking to be that sick so they can miss the big padded practice on that week. And you send them home.
I didn't even think about that, guys.
Not many people are sick on Fridays under Fast Friday practice.
It does feel like it is a very healthy team on Fast Friday practices. People that are normally held out of practice all of a sudden full go for Fast Friday walkthroughs. It is very interesting. Hey, everybody gets money as long as you show up on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Tuesday. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you got to do. Let's talk about Le'Veon Bell. Where do you think he's going to show up at, AJ? Last night I got a DM from somebody saying that he was seen in the Buffalo airport, and that has been reported publicly now by, I guess, one other person as well. Or the person that publicly reported that was the one when it sent me the message. I'm not 100% sure which way it goes. He was allegedly seen in the Buffalo airport at Duff's, which is a competitor of Anchor Bar, which is the home of Buffalo Wings, in the same airport. Very interesting. And then there was reports that he was in the Kansas City Chiefs airport. He followed Patrick Mahomes on Twitter, and there's some likes that he's going on. And then the Dolphins are allegedly in play as well. So right now, Le'Veon Bell watch is in full effect. Where do you think is the right place for him to go? And what is the team getting whenever they get Le'Veon Bell in 2020?
I mean, if I was him, I'd want to go to the Chiefs. I think that's who would give you, of those three teams, Dolphins, Chiefs, Bills, that gives you most likely the highest percentage chance of winning a Super Bowl. I don't know what his role would look like. I think he wants to be more of the every down kind of guy, but maybe he's like, hey, I'll go take a little bit of a back seat and really revamp my career and hopefully get a ring out of it.
Yeah, if you want a ring chase, I think the Chiefs is probably the team to go to. But also, everybody thought there was a chance he ends up in New England or Tampa Bay, just strictly because New England, that would be a move that New England would make, and everybody would be like, of course, Bill Belichick does it. And maybe that's why the Bills and the Dolphins are so intrigued, by the way, so that Bill can't do that. Or Tampa Bay with Tom Brady, it's like he needs, a lot of people are saying, this is not me saying I don't watch film, he needs a check down running back out of the backfield that can get yards for him, a la James White, a la Dion
Lewis.
There it is. Thank you, Patriot fan.
Yeah, he's on the Giants, my bad.
Yeah, but he was, right? Wasn't he? He was
a couple decades ago.
Yeah, but he still was.
So many running backs come through the stable. I mean,
but they all matter because Tom Brady loves throwing it to his backs out of the backfield. So it's there. Everybody's thinking that he needs that down in Tampa, and Le'Veon Bell would be that guy. But it turns out, I guess it's just Bills, Dolphins, Chiefs, says Jeremy Fowler over there at ESPN, who might know of Le'Veon Bell and his team from his Pittsburgh Steelers days because that's who he reports for.
You know who would use him well, but it's never going to happen, is the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. Can you imagine, Aaron, with this guy? Le'Veon Bell, I've tried to cover him. The dude is so elusive coming out of the backfield, catching the ball. Like, they would use him very, very well, but the problem is they already have two studs there right now, and they drafted another.
That is kind of what I said to Ty yesterday. Like, it stinks that this weapon, if he's still the weapon, the guy that you're talking about having to cover, the guy that I saw in the defensive meeting, basically in the team meeting, saying, like, look at what this guy does, showing an entire highlight reel of the guy, and basically the entire defense being like, okay, we're playing a ghost this weekend, basically somebody that's untouchable at this point because of how elusive he is. I actually pointed at Ty and I was like, kind of sucks it. That is the one position, I guess. Number one wide receiver, you got a guy. But at running back, you have a plethora of great backs out of the backfield, too. Like Jamal Williams catching the ball, Aaron Jones catching the ball. It sucks for the Green Bay Packers, who need another weapon, that they happen to not need this particular weapon. But then there was a lot of conversation. Why not just put him at slot? Let him play slot receiver, or put him on the back, move him around, let him do whatever.
You're right. They won't do it, but especially if there's really no financial risk involved either. It's like, hey, why not? You know, Packers are hot right now. Line up in the slot for 50 to 60
I'll tell you why not, because he's got string cheese for hamstrings.
Oh, jeez. Well, that was obviously a guy from Pittsburgh right there who just said that, and I do believe he has been injured with the AJ, it is disgusting. Shake your head. That's good. That was right. I had the same exact feeling. That was disgusting, but he has been injured at the Jets, and now the question is this the Le'Veon Bell they're getting? Is the Jets Le'Veon Bell, the guy who, just didn't perform? Was it because of Gase? Was it because of the culture? Was it because Le'Veon Bell was a little bit older and he had a holdout year where he was having a great time down in South Florida as a rapper? Or is this Le'Veon Bell you're getting that still has a lot to prove, which is what he says he is? I think it's worth an $850,000 risk or whatever the vet min is, and let the Jets pick up the rest of the tab there.
Without a question, without a doubt, it's absolutely worth it if you only have to pay him vet min. But it also got me thinking too, when you say you're getting all these DMs, I think I'm going to start to become very active on Instagram. I don't own it. I haven't opened up any burner accounts, but I think I'm going to open up multiple accounts just so I can strictly send you DMs like, oh, hey, saw Boomer Esiason at Planet Fitness, told me he's getting ready for a comeback.
Listen, okay, and that's why I don't get in the insider game, because that's what people do on the internet. But we had a little bit of a string there where all the breaking news was coming through to somebody in the office. I mean, it was coming through, and it's like, I can't be in the insider game because I can't legitimize Boner Garage, AJ Hawk tweeting or sending me a message. I can't legitimize it. But it is nice to get a heads up from some people. But you can't trust anything. but we have been right a couple times. We can't trust anything. So who knows where the hell he is? And who knows if Fowler's right, by the way, because Fowler saying those 3 teams are interested is potentially trying from the Le'Veon Bell team to drum up interest from the Patriots maybe, or from somebody else to come in and get, because allegedly Tom Brady wasn't actually interested in coming to the Colts. He was just interested in it looking like the Colts were interested so that he can use it as leverage as a negotiation, which Leonard Fournette allegedly did with whenever he got cut from the Jaguars, that the Patriots are interested to use that. So nothing you hear right now, we have any idea if it's true or not, but let's just hope an answer comes soon, because I'm excited to see if we get 2017 Lev Bell or if we get New York Jets Lev Bell. And if it's 2017, that's good for the league that this guy is back in the NFL.
Yeah, but those 3 teams, do you think those teams had reached out to Le'Veon and his agent, or are those 3 teams that he's been trying to reach out to them and go play for him?
Or is it maybe somebody on Lev's team that just texted Jeremy Fowler and said, hey, these are the 3 teams we're talking to.
Yeah.
And Fowler goes, are you sure? And Lev Bell's team goes, yeah. And Fowler just goes, all right, here it is. And what if that person is just fucking lying? Could happen, I guess. Now, Fowler has to double check that and everything, but if that's coming from, let's say, agent of Lev Bell, I would assume Fowler's like, well, this is legitimate information, but let's not put past people trying to put a little business leverage out into the open so that they can end up somewhere else. And if Lev's businessman, which he is, by the way, 28 million, 18 games, held out, wrapped, everything like that, maybe this is just a business strategy. Who knows where he goes? That's why it is lead story on everything, because he could end up anywhere and everywhere, and everybody be like, yeah, that makes sense. Let's get to Dylan in Cleveland. Probably not going to be in Cleveland. What's going on, Dylan?
Hey, yo, Pat, what's up, my man?
Hey, yeah, what's going on, bro?
So, funny story. I was on the show on the 13th, and I was the kid who lagged out, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What do you have?
On the 13th.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, what's up? All right. The question I was going to ask you was, how did soccer help you transition into an NFL punter?
Oh, I do remember this. He came on the show, dropped out completely, transition question. Thank you for asking. He remember that?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for calling back, Dylan. Yeah, soccer obviously helped. I mean, anytime you can build up leg strength to get a little bit more explosivity, that is great news for a kicking thing. And for me, my leg was pretty athletic. I could hit the ball in a lot of different fashions, so it helped me in punt. But I would assume that just about aside from the Aussie guys who play Aussie rules football, which is a punting game, I would assume everybody you see kick in the NFL will probably have some sort of soccer background. I think it builds up your leg muscle in a fashion that not anything else can really do when it comes to kicking things. But it helped me out immensely, and I was about done with the running, so the transition into football was a good time for me.
Hey, Pat, I got a question for you.
Yeah,
so, we see kids specialize and do all this stuff now. Are we going to eventually see kids that are just kickers? Like they don't play soccer, they grow up from like 3 years old and they go to these kicking camps and they kick for their high school, and their whole goal is just become an NFL kicker.
Funny you say that. And the reason why I said the NFL kickers that probably had soccer in their background, if you were to guess like that, because there's a lot of guys in college that are like what you just said, just specialty their entire life have focused on punting. And every special teams coach that I talk to that has one of those guys on their roster, they normally get a contract because they can hit a big ball, right? Because all they've been focusing on. Every special teams coach I talked to was like, when something goes wrong, like all hell breaks loose. So like if there's a bad snap or something, like they just become these robots, right? You're just like, there it is. And a lot of it involves athleticism with being able to catch and adjust and things like that. So it's like these special teams coaches have done like these studies. They're like, so, whenever you get a guy who maybe has a soccer background or something else, if something all hell breaks loose, they can athlete it. They can figure it out. These guys that just kick and just punt, if anything goes wrong, we're fucked. And you like hear them like defeated almost. They're like, let's just hope it's completely perfect, this entire thing. So I think being a better athlete in anything that involves in sport, even if you're a bowler or a dart player, like I think being a better athlete helps you with everything, I would assume. What did you play soccer growing up for your feet, or did you were football your whole time?
I mean, I played soccer in first grade because they wouldn't let you play football yet until second. So that was
Ohio.
I played football, baseball, and basketball, and it's just like anything else. Like playing other sports, playing pickup games in the yard, that makes you better at whatever sport you eventually become best at. Like you need to do that. It just, there's so many little things you can't measure that you learn from doing all of that. And I just think when you specialize too, not only are you creating weirdos, you're creating robots that have a hard time integrating with a full team of 53 men.
I was about to say physically and mentally, and you just hit on the mentally part. Weirdos, if they've only done one thing and they only specialize in one thing, boom, boom, boom. I feel like mentally you can get worn out, A, which changes your work ethic towards said thing and being good. And B, you can almost overthink it. You can get to that point. I think whenever the specialty coaches started coming in, like, you need to focus on just this sport or whatever, you heard a backlash from basically every successful athlete. Was like, do not do that, because you have no idea what sport is going to be able to help you where. For instance, for me, kicking at Plum High School, we weren't in a lot of massive games, right? Okay. And kicking was like something I would just show up kind of on Fridays, I would do and whatever. But I played volleyball in my senior year, and there was like some massive moments, like state playoff moments where you're serving, okay, where you have to serve the ball, and it's like there's an actual crowd at our volleyball games, and I like found myself leaning on that moment a lot more. And it was a sport that I only played because my friends were playing. I'd already committed to West Virginia. I'm not going to play cup soccer in the spring. Like, I only played. I found myself like leaning on that mentally, much more so than any soccer moment I had when I got into college. It was like all right, like kind of like breathing and relaxing in a big moment or whatever. So it's like, you never know what is going to help you where. And I think that is the short-sightedness that idiots who say you should only do one thing kind of miss in this entire ball game. It's like, yeah, but I feel like you can learn from different situations everywhere.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't think I've heard a coach that is a good coach and that is respected tell you, oh, no, you need to specialize in just one sport.
Ever.
Every good coach I know is like, absolutely not. No. Football season's over, go play basketball, go wrestle, go do something else. Like, no, you're not going to be hanging around here and just become a robot.
Why did those guys start getting jobs, you think? Those like, well,
those guys started getting paid because people send their kids these, are you going to speed camp? When I was a kid, I remember they said, Timmy's going to speed camp, air quotes, speed camp. I'm like, first off, what is that? And it's just some bum who gets parents to pay him. I'm going to give you a discount. It's only going to be $340 per half hour, but I'm going to make little Timmy very, very fast.
He's going to run from a 4.6 to get that 4.59. Whoa. Think about that. And if we get him even faster, that 4.59, guess what? 4.58. Whoa. Ooh. Now, depending on the person that's holding the stopwatch, by the way, we can probably get him 4.3 if we really wanted to at the end of this practice. I mean, there's those types of things happen in they do that in kicking camps, punting camps. It's like, come on, man. Go kick a soccer ball against the side of a wall. I get a lot of people that say, like, hey, I want my kid to be a kicker or punter. It seems like the best job ever. And by the way, awesome job. You get overpaid for the amount of work you have to do. It is not an easy thing to do. But, boy, the best way to get good at it is get good at kicking things. And the easiest way to do that is just start kicking things. And a soccer ball seems much more feasible to kick because guess what? It'll bounce back to you. Football, just kicking. If you don't have a strong leg, you're going to suck. And if you're going to suck, you're probably not going to stick with it that long. So I would say build up the leg strength by kicking something that's easy to kick, like a soccer ball, and then try to get into it. Because for me, if I wouldn't have kicked like a 60-yard field goal the first time I kicked the ball, I probably wouldn't have stuck with it. I probably would have been like, oh, this kind of stinks. It's a weird ball. It doesn't fly as far. But since it traveled so far, I was like, fuck, I can make a lot of money doing this. I think I can make a lot of money doing this right here. We should stick with it.
Families too, like the Colquitts or the Vinatieri's, who have like generational now players at punter and kicker. Like, what? They don't only play. They don't specialize, do they?
AJ Vinatieri, by the way, Adam's kid is going to be a punter that gets scholarship. But he is bombing footballs. But I think he played baseball. He played soccer at assume. He played everything. It's just the way it goes. AJ, before we wrap up here, hour 3, we teased this before a commercial break. We have to hit it. The NFL.com power rankings have come out.
Let's go.
We have to judge the power rankings here after week 5, which saw us have a Tuesday night football game, a Monday night football game, an entire Sunday slate. Sitting atop the NFL.com week 6 power rankings are the Green Bay Packers, who take home at Lambeau Field. Aaron Rodgers playing better football than he's ever played. The defense is playing great, and it feels like that team, coming out of a bye week, is only going to get better and better. AJ, do you like the Packers at 1? Is this a good thing for the Packers, or do you think this is a potential? Too much pressure, too much weight to bear, knowing that you're the number 1 team on NFL.com, AJ?
Well, I don't think the players are going to care too much. They're not going to be like, oh, did you guys see the latest power rankings? Like, I don't know which. There's 720 websites that do power rankings. Which one are you referring to? And NFL.com, we're number 1. That's a lot of pressure, guys. Like, do you think Aaron's having that talk right now with Devontae Adams?
He should be. This is the league's website. And number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. They haven't looked great in a couple games. They still get wins, but they beat the hell out of the number 3 team, Baltimore Ravens, which makes everybody think the Kansas City Chiefs will be able to figure it out, but who knows if they will. Lamar Jackson bounced back. At 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shout out to the AFC North at 3 and 4. Tennessee Titans are at 5. 5. They took 2 weeks off, didn't need practice, just beat the hell out of the Buffalo Bills, who are ranked 7th, one below the Seattle Seahawks. Los Angeles Rams at the 8th. Is that a quiet team moving up the board? I do believe. Number 9, Cleveland Browns. AJ Hawk, your thoughts on the Cleveland Browns? Is this the year that the dog pound gets to celebrate some shit?
Yeah, what's that? What does that mean? A playoff berth? Is that a celebration for them, or do you have? Is it Super Bowl or bust?
Above 500 would be a party in Cleveland. It looks like they're well on their way. At 10, the New Orleans Saints, who might be playing at LSU Stadium because the New Orleans mayor won't allow any fans in the Superdome. But in Baton Rouge, they got 26,000 people there. Are the Saints going to play at LSU? Who knows? They're ranked 10th right now. Will Drew Brees' arm be able to stay on his body throughout the entire thing? Patriots, Bucks. Patriots ranked above the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 11-12. Bill Belichick is above Tom Brady. Will that remain? Darren Waller and the Las Vegas Raiders. Then the Panthers, Cardinals, Bears, Chargers, Colts. Damn. 19 Vikings. Then the Dolphins. Then the Niners, Cowboys, Eagles. Cowboys, by the way, AJ's pick for the Super Bowl at 22. Texans 24. They got no coach. They got no GM. Shout out to Romeo Cornell. They're having fun. They might get really good really quick. Detroit Lions aren't the worst. Shout out to Detroit. Cincinnati Bengals 26. Broncos 27. Jags 28. Falcons 29. Washington football team 30. 31, the football Giants. 32, the Jets. AJ, your thoughts on the last 10 there? Does it matter? They all just suck at the moment.
I think it's kind of unfair. I think the Giants should be behind the Jets. They need to swap 31 and 32.
Wow. What? Wow. We will debate that tomorrow as only we can right here on the Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. AJ, we got about a minute left. What are your thoughts, pal?
I don't know, but my thoughts going back to what you were saying when you're standing there and you're serving to try to win a state title in volleyball, the anxiety, the nerves that you may or may not have had, excuse me, in that moment are the same nerves you're going to get when you're lining up for a big punt or to kick off for the Super Bowl your rookie year, don't you think?
Yeah, you rely on that. Also, don't look past beer pong, 1 cup left.
Oh, yes.
House packed. Like those moments, a lot of people are like, I couldn't imagine what it feels like. Whenever you're nervous or excited or anxious for something, it's not like you can't just get it. That moment you feel with that juice, very similar, I would say. And I'm not sure how many people would say that, but I think it's true. Like those are some similar moments. If you miss, obviously you're not losing out on millions of dollars and all that. So there is an added thing or whatever. But when you got all your peers staring there and a place can just absolutely turn upside down if you make it in there, that's a moment you have to rely on every once in a while.
Yeah, and then when it's you though, you go drain that last ball and then you go run up the wall and do a backflip, so it's even better.
Bingo. That's Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, October 15th, 2020. Chris Mad Dog Russo is next. He's a legend. I am not. Cheers. No, you have a great day, dude. You have a great day, dude. You have a good day. All right.
Down the
we'll
line.
talk to you down the road.
Tomorrow down the line?
The stork. Zito, what was the outcome of the poll for today? We probably should have done that during the radio show, but
No.
you know, we're figuring it out.
Yeah. So according to Jay Fowler today, only 3 teams left for Lev Bell to go. So far, we have Dolphins at 24.7%, Chiefs at 35.4%, and it seems like the Bills might just run away with this one. 40%.
Not really, 40%. I mean, that is only 4.6%. It is. I mean, that is not that much of a difference there. The Dolphins made quite a jump there.
They did.
Maybe South Beach is just waking up, which could potentially be a part of Lev's problem, is how awesome it could be off the field for Lev down there. That'll be TBD. He says he's got a lot to figure out and a lot to prove. Hopefully he'll find a home, and hopefully we'll be able to react to that tomorrow. AJ, back to your point about the backflip off the wall.
Yeah.
You know, we had a bet for like in 30 days we'll be able to do that, and I never did it, but I want to let you know that I did do it in the match strictly because of our conversation that we had. I just want to let you know.
Amen.
I would like to let you know that.
Your backflip?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Good work. Like I said, I was standing off in the wings after I got escorted out. I was in awe of what you were doing. I had no idea.
Well, you know, because it was something that we had talked about, and I think we bet about, and then it kind of disappeared. And I was like, oh, whenever he pushed me, I was like, good time to kind of shove this in AJ Hawk's face. I'm just going to do a backflip right here.
Bet settled.
Pretty thick.
I give you credit. Hey, man, I think the only thing that came out of that wrestling match was 100% of the feedback was, wow, Pat is a great athlete.
Isn't it crazy that I was a professional athlete for like 8 years, you know? And because you're a punter, the automatic thought is, like, oh, this guy isn't athletic.
This guy's a slob.
You do a professional wrestling match, and everybody's like, oh, he's actually an athlete.
Wow.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Funny.
However, we got to prove it or whatever. It's very nice of you. Yeah,
The problem is, though, the thing why I guess people are surprised is because the majority of kickers and punters, if they went and did that, they would look highly unathletic.
See, I don't think that's true. I think you get 90% of the punters and kickers in there, 95 even, maybe 99. They would all be able to do the same damn thing because this isn't the Martin Gramatica kickers and punters. No, these are strength monsters kicking the ball.
Justin Tucker, I could say, I think he could put on a show in there.
He can sing, by the way. Everybody says
Morstead will get it done.
Morstead is a monster. He's like 6'5", too, shredded long hair, looks like a Sasquatch, that son of a bitch. I think he'd be able to get it done.
Steve Weatherford.
He'd pick up the goddamn ring if he had to. That guy. He's an animal, Steve Weatherford is. Did you get the itch to maybe get in the ring while you were there?
Oh, yeah, I definitely got the itch to try to mix it up a little bit with the old buddy's crew.
Ooh. The Undisputed Era. You tried to figure out what their name was while you were speaking there. And then you got to the buddy's crew. Yeah,
I hate that it happened because I have a lot of respect for the crew. I talk
what a life. All right. Good day today, I think.
Good day.
Good day.
Yeah. We covered everything we're supposed to cover, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hammered Down is in, what, 30 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Anything good on that show?
Oh, yeah. Plenty of lines, plenty of winners.
Oh.
Wait, is there a game tonight? There's a game, right?
No.
There's a college game, but no NFL game.
We've tried not to talk about it because it is a heartbreaker that we had Tuesday Night Football because it's like adding a day onto a bender. You know, it's just like kind of not as good as if you're to take a couple of days off and then get back into it, which is what Thursday Night Football is. So we're kind of bummed about it. We tried not to talk about it, but you did bring it up there at the end.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
My bad. Well, my 7-year-old son asked me this morning, he's like, Dad, is there a game on Thursday? Is there a game Thursday night? And I was like, hey, yeah, but I'm sure there always is, because he knows a lot of times there's a big Monday night game like if the Packers play or a big Thursday night, we'll let him turn the TV on in the room and let him watch until he falls asleep.
I used to do that with Monday Night Football, Monday Night Raw, Monday Night Nitro. Mm-hmm. That's what I used to have to do that for in the room.
That's what, man, wrestling was awesome when WCW was.
It was awesome, dude.
Those were the characters. Like, those were the just bizarre. Like, that's when it was super bizarre and awesome.
New World Order. Those were the days. And then WCW made one fatal error, and it kind of turned everything around. Eric Bischoff decided to announce what was going on Monday Night Raw. Don't even think about going over there. This is what happened. They pre-recorded it or whatever. And everybody was like, fucking Mankind just won the belt? Let's go over there real quick. And then they never looked back. Vince McMahon never looked back, and then he bought the thing. It was just like, see you later. That was
I thought it was when he got rid of Mark Madden.
Mark Madden's friend of the show. There was no reason.
No, I'm being 1,000% serious. That was the death of the WCW.
Well, Mark went down with the ship.
Mark was playing the music all the way down, pal.
Loyal.
Christ. Hey, Mark, Double M, if you're listening, Ty Schmidt's his name, okay? Ty Schmidt is his name, and he deserves it. Doesn't he? What do you do?
Got a shirt on and honor you. So
yeah. All right. And that is an honor to Mark Madden, Pittsburgh sports radio host, who is a savage and was a commentator with WCW. And I see you were trying to say that the reason why WCW lost is because they fired Mark Madden.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's not true, though. Mark wrote it out.
Well, you know what I meant.
They kind of fizzled out his character.
Yes, exactly.
More Mark Madden, WCW probably wins.
Mark would probably argue that the reason they went under is because they didn't fire his character.
Well, he's wrong.
Somewhere else.
Well, there. Anyways, this show's over. Everybody should be fired. Thursday, October 15th. We'll see you tomorrow. Safe travels, AJ. We'll see you on Monday. This has been Pat McAfee Show here on youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Cheers.
In the past, so let's get some nukes to get us ready for week 6. Now we know weeks 1 through 3, the over was 29 and 19. Weeks 4 and 5, the over only hit 13 out of 29 games. There is still one over trend that is going strong though. First half overs in week 5 were 10 and 4. And on the year, they're now 50, 25, and 2. Let's go to prime time. Primetime favorites were 0 and 4 against the spread in week 5. And on the year, they're 5-12. We'll be back tomorrow with a new hammer. Dad! More stats, more info, and a full Week 6 preview. Cheers.